Good day, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is Viper of Viperland, and it looks like I'm actually about where I should be. That took way more fixing than I would like. Every now and again, Zoom or Google Hangouts or whatever we use for D&D likes to just go, no, your mic is too loud. We've lowered it in Windows settings for you. It's like, oh, we're going to tell me? No. Is it going to be easy to go back to it and find it and fix it? No. Could you ask me next time before we do it? No, you were too loud. I hate it. But also, hello! This is Viper for Viperland. We're back in 428 Shibuya Scramble. So if my mic levels are a bit high or a bit low tonight, let me know. I tried to get them back to where I was, but... So we left off with Donkey Kong going to cook for us, and we had telling us that he had kept his apron in his jacket pocket, because of course he did. And with the option for pray he winds up with something edible. Maybe it's better to ask Tanaka to make him lunch instead, or, I mean, we have to pick A, right? We have to pick A, and you're right, it's gotta be bananas. Like, whatever the right answer is, we right now have to pick A.
I am not sure if you noticed, but I am a robot.
Hello, Sir Jude, welcome to Viperland in the chat. Yeah, we're gonna go for it. For now, he just have to pray he wound up with something edible. Every scene with Kajiwara is perfection. Kajiwara and Mr. Bossman are probably my favorite, like, physical actors of this game. Not characters, but like the physical actors of those two are so good. Everyone in this is having a good time and playing the role well, for sure. But those two are just so above and beyond in terms of just visual, facial acting for screenshots. It's amazing. Both the most depression and most entertaining path so far. Yeah, it really is, isn't it? Kajiwara peered into the refrigerator. Goodness, you are remarkably understocked, he said. Let's see. Could you please put these in the dinger, Mr. Osawa? Named for the sound a microwave oven makes when it has finished heating your food. Okay. Wouldn't expect that, but also, hey Sora, how's it going tonight? Welcome to Viperland in the chat. The microwave at my house doesn't really go ding when the timer reaches 0, though. It's more just a beep. But it doesn't make sense to call a microwave a beeper when there's already a word that refers to something else. Oh yeah. I tend to forget beepers are a thing until I played Yakuza 0, which I finished last night. I'm just finishing up the cabaret stuff. I got 3 of the cabaret villains down, and I'm working on the 4th now. I assume there's 5, because like there's 5. It just is. The detective handed Osawa some frozen lumps of rice. So like, I'm getting there. I still really like the minigame. It's just fun. The dinger? What the heck is a dinger? I mean, I had to look it up too, so. The microwave oven, sir. Osawa stepped in front of the microwave. Only had Nitro for Discord. If every emote could have been global. I like that. That's a good one. It is a good one. Also, hey Mint, how's it going tonight? Welcome to Viperland in the chat. Unfortunately, he had no idea how to work the... Do you not know how to use the microwave in your own house? Like, I'll admit, I don't do the most cooking of any human being out there, but like, I know how to work the microwave. I know how to work an oven. I know how to work the toaster oven. I know how to do basic cooking functions. Want me to prepare a 10-course meal? Yeah, I might not have that down, but like, want me to microwave something? I gotcha, fam. You should thaw that rice out as soon as possible, Kajiwara told him. Actually not sure how to operate this thing. What? The detective gasped. You don't know how to use a microwave? That is honestly shocking. Osawa could only nod in silent shame. Yeah, I know this is 2008, but like, phone technology is old. Microwaves are about the same. You know how to use a microwave. If you don't know how to cook at all, you would probably be even more... Exactly, right? But we already know he doesn't do the cooking around here. He doesn't do the cooking. He doesn't unclog the toilet. What does he do? Like, you gotta do at least a little, dude. It should be just as simple as turning the dial, yeah. And the thing is, if he's like genius level scientist, even if he doesn't know how to use the microwave, I guarantee he uses, for virology, way more complex tools at his work, and the things are kind of foolproof. Like, it's usually either type a number and hit enter, or turn a dial. Never boiled water, really? Okay, like, to each their own, like, but like, that's the thing I do the most of, either boiling water or putting something in a pan with some oil. Those are my go-tos. Hell, I usually put the two together. I boil some water and put pasta in the boiling water, and then heat a pan with some oil and heat a meat. Lately it's been smoked sausage for me, and then put them together with a sauce. Like, those are my two go-tos. Like, that's all I got for cooking. Wait, which one? That one, sir. The one on the right. Osawa turned the dial, then crossed his arms with a satisfied grin. Don't feel smug about yourself for that, dude. Dude, you're inept. Mr. Osawa, you need to put the rice in first, before you do that. Well then why didn't you oh my god. And you're telling me that he's a scientist that works with microorganisms, like viruses. If he can't figure out how to use a microwave, how did he learn how to use anything? How about a microscope, huh? Did somebody have to be like, okay, you peer through the eyepiece. Oh, there's nothing down there. Did you put your sample down there? Well, you didn't say I had to do that. Like, dude, you're clearly not an idiot. Like, you're clearly, like, competent and smart to some degree, but, like, the fact that we've got 2 pages of text of you having to be told step by step how to use a microwave is bad. Like, come on. Like, it's 2 knobs. One is pointed towards rice. You're putting rice in there. Cool. The other's a timer that you turn. Like, if he had asked, how long should I put it in for? I don't use the microwave a lot. Okay, fair. Because, you know, there's lots of things that I'm like, I don't know how long I should put this in for. Let's try starting a little bit small, work our way up or something. Cool. But, like, it would be funny if you built microwaves. Yeah. But, like, it even said, look, there's an icon there. I don't read a word of Japanese. But that's it. That's a bowl of rice. That's a bowl of rice, the second from the top. The first one's like a rice bowl, and the second one's a bowl of rice. She's literally reheating a bowl of rice. So you just turn it to 1 minute. Like, I don't read the language and I could do that. Like, come on, dude. I've never worked in a kitchen in my life. Don't ask me to do things that are this... Sawa, man, dude, you gotta... Hello, Sasafune. Welcome to Viper Light in the chat. How's it going tonight? Ooh, yeah, it literally has the time for rice printed on the microwave. He's basically pointing to it with his right hand. He's basically pointing. He didn't think to put the food in the microwave first, thinking it would just heat it in his hand. I guess magic. The information's literally in front of him. Very well. I'll handle this from here. Why don't you get out the bowls and the chopsticks then, sir? If he says he doesn't know where they're kept, I don't know what I'm gonna do. God damn it. Dude. How do you live? How do you survive? I have no idea where the hell those are kept. How? 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 I don't get it. Mind you, that honestly surprises me less than not knowing how to use a microwave. Yeah, it's simple. Like, it's so simple and he doesn't know how to use it. Just handed food with it. Yeah, apparently, honestly. Kajiwara let out a heavy sigh. Alright then, please just sit and wait, sir. And here, he said, and here, take this. Kajiwara pulled out a sheet of bubble wrap from his pocket. Use your fingers to pop the bubbles. That should help you to calm down. Too drained to argue, Osawa did as prompted, starting to pop his way along the sheet. Rather than calm him down, though, it was making him incredibly cross. This felt more like a sort of ridiculous punishment. They say you can learn a lot about a household by looking in the fridge, you know. Kajiwara was cooking something in a frying pan. See, he found the pan, he found the oil, he found the thing to put in the pan, all in the time it took this one dude to be like, I don't know how to use a microwave. And again, the emotes aren't working. That's cool. Thanks. I don't know why. So hella confused. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair. This is not Tama. This is the scientist dude. You'd never know. And? Osawa asked. Just what have you learned about mine? I'd better not say, sir. You might take offense. He's taken offense to everything you've done so far. Embrace it. Yeah, that's the thing, like... Yeah. That's how it was working last night, too. If you put an emote there, you'd see it, but anyone else who put an emote, other people wouldn't see it, and I don't know why. Yep, but not each other. I don't get it. Oh, it's prime first step. Oh, for sure, he'd be a goner. Osawa snapped another bubble between his fingers. Ah, the rice is finished thawing. Kajiwara topped the steaming bowl of rice with his fried egg he'd whipped up in his pan. Then, as if it were an afterthought, he added some pickled vegetables. Look what this man just came up with, come on! Here you are, sir. Your fried egg on rice is complete. One of Kajiwara's simple recipes. Others include his white spaghetti, which is simply spaghetti that's been flavored with butter, salt and pepper after it's been boiled. Both are a bit too basic to be properly called cuisine, but it does take a certain skill to bring the best flavor out of the ingredients with such simple seasonings. So I'm not going to call it high art food or anything, but like, you know, it's also not how I like my eggs, but we've gone over my dislike of runny yolks, but like, it's so easy to just put an egg in a pan, wait till it sets a little bit, pour it out of something. Yes, admittedly, getting it the right amount of doneness to what you enjoy takes some trial and error for sure. And I imagine the pickled vegetables is something you already had, but like, yeah, look at that. Spaghetti without sauce, you'd be surprised. A lot of people like that. My nephew likes it that way. I dabble in it. I prefer sauces, but like sometimes I'm not looking for something as like heavy. I'll just go some butter. Yeah, the microwave, yeah. Also, hello Grim, welcome to Viperland in the chat. We're a, honest to God, world-renowned scientist that has countries vying for his work, doesn't know how to use a microwave. Has zero idea. At all. He has no idea how to use a microwave. To the point where he didn't even know he had to put the rice in the microwave for it to heat it up. This is what's going on, Grim. Kajiwara cooked him up smooth, though. Kajiwara grinned from ear to ear. Go ahead and eat it while it's still warm. Osawa received the bowl with a dubious look. You aren't very good at cooking, are you? Dude, you don't know how to use a microwave. You best shut the hell up. He cooked food for you. Mind you, yes, it was reheating rice in the microwave and putting an egg in a frying pan until he poured it into a bowl. But like, drastically more than what he could do. Like, don't criticize. All you had in your refrigerator were eggs and pickled vegetables, sir. I assure you, it's quite delicious. I recommend breaking the yolk and mixing it all together. Honestly, that can work if the rice is hot, because then it kind of like solidifies a little bit with the rice. So honestly, yeah. We're calling him DK because he pulls a banana out of his pocket constantly. He just always seems to have a banana. So I haven't taken to calling him Donkey Kong, but the chat has, and I like it. But I'm going to keep going with the name. Reluctantly, Osawa brought a bite to his mouth. And go figure, it was probably delicious. That's good. No kidding, you inept bastard. He has 2 kids. He has 2 kids, and you're telling me that he has never, ever cooked. Ever? Ever. Like, if he said he didn't cook often, or if he wasn't good at cooking, okay, you know, yeah, I get that. But didn't know how to cook to the point that he couldn't use the microwave with the instructions printed on the front of the microwave? Like, yeah, that's true. There was we don't know the length of time, there was a period of time between not having a wife and having a second wife, where he had kids during that. How did he survive? The words came out almost unbidden. I'm not gonna... We've been live for like 17 minutes, and like 16 of that has been marveling at the stupidity and ineptitude of this one man. And it's not going anywhere anytime soon. That's fair, but we also don't know how old they were during this time. We don't know how long he was a single parent and how old they were during that time. We don't really know yet. So it is totally possible. You're right. That is definitely a possibility that the kids just did it. But we don't have enough info for that right now. Isn't it just egg yolk and pickled vegetables pair quite well? Osawa couldn't help but stuff his face, slipping into a rapturous daze as he did. Also, the man hadn't eaten all day. He's literally starving. Was he really going to question the food? Like, for at least part of the time. Okay, yeah. Then I don't get how he survived. I don't get how they survived. Fast food, I suppose. Realistically, the answer's got to be dining out or in fast food. It has to be like I'm sure once they got a little older they did it themselves, but like elementary school age? The more he ate, the more it stirred his appetite. I had no idea fried eggs could be this delicious. It's a simple concept. It's simple and it works. I know you probably have a long ordeal still ahead of you, sir. But please, keep your chin up and hang in there. Kajiwara gave Osawa an amiable smile. Ah, that's right, he continued. And for dessert, we have bananas. No. Thank you. What does he have against bananas? Kajiwara grimaced as Osawa held up a hand in refusal. Right then, when you're finished eating, would you please wash the bowls? If he tells me he doesn't know how to wash something... Me? Wash dishes? Osawa exclaimed in surprise, sounding like a petulant child. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Do we need to add banana? Maybe. If someone else cooks for you, you should do the cleaning up. Honestly, a good rule of thumb. In the brief period of time where I lived in the city, where I lived with my, at the time, girlfriend, that was always the rule. If I cooked, she did the dishes. If she cooked, I did the dishes. I feel like that's a good rule of thumb. If you're cooking for someone else, you and someone else, a good rule is the person who doesn't cook does the dishes. I feel like it's a good one, honestly. It's only polite. Fine. Okay. While Osawa was doing the dishes, the bug detector went off again. I don't remember the banana sound effect from Donkey Kong 64. I played it, but like when it was current, so it's been a while. Director, if you have a moment? Tanaka poked his head into the kitchen. I've got something urgent to discuss with you. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, come on. Well, something urgent after food. Welp. I don't remember if we had a way to get to him right now. Actually, I don't remember the exact whole setup we left off on, so let's check it. Use that to keep out. Okay, Minorikawa hit his end, so like, don't have to worry about him. We saved Kano for last, because we always save Kano for last. Achi's on a keep out. Tama's on a keep out. She can jump to him, which we've done. Can jump to him as well. Can jump to Aki here. Oh, there you go. That might be the jump to Aki we need. It also might be too far ahead. I don't know. Let's say a couple. Yeah, that's definitely. Oh, wrong button. That's my vault. Hell yeah. We go back in time 10 minutes and jump. Cool, that was an easy fix. We'll hit Kano when we can, but we just traditionally seem to save him for last. As luck would have it, they soon found a crowd in their path, backs turned towards them. Excited voices rose up from the throng. Whoa, what's the deal? Is something going on? It's a street fight! A fight, as the name implies, that takes place out on the street, typically using bare hands and no weapons. Even a bare-handed fight can result in serious injuries, though, which is why they're pretty illegal. In the Discord? Alright, I'll check it out. Aki clutched Hitomi's hand good and tight. Whatever you do, don't let go. Without a moment's hesitation, he plowed his way through the crowd. Emerging on the far side of the gathering, Aki saw the main road ahead. Oh, so that's all... I guess he was part of the crowd for like a second, that's it. Cars were zipping past in a steady stream. What do we do? There were too many cars for them to rush across the street without getting hit. But they couldn't exactly just sit and wait for the light to change, and they certainly couldn't go back the way they came. Their pursuers were getting closer and closer. "Hitomi," Aki shouted. "Going across, we're turning back." Both are bad ideas. I gotta play that sound effect because I don't remember. Oh, I won't be able to hear it anyway because I'm hooked up to the TV, so I'll check it after the stream. Yeah, A seems like the likely choice, but it does risk us getting hit by a car. But it seems better than going back to the people chasing us. We're going across. What? Oh, there we go. Dragging Hitomi by the hand, Aki darted out into the street. Moving purely by instinct, he wove his way through the gaps between the speeding cars. That's a... When they were halfway across, a car slammed on its brakes to keep from hitting them, causing several cars behind it to crash into one another. It's fine. The multi-vehicle pileup plunged the road into total chaos. As a result of this chaos, traffic in the nearby area will be at a standstill for a while. While on their way to the Syndicate hideout, Shiana Kano and Jack Stanley have gotten caught in this traffic jam. Well, we know how to hop over there now. In a matter of moments, the street was clogged with a long line of stopped vehicles. Aki and Hitomi's pursuers remained on the other side and did not pursue. Is it cutting out any of what I'm saying? Because it looks like the bar seems to be cutting a little early when I'm talking, but it could just be the OBS bar. Okay, cool. Again, the Zoom meeting tonight messed with my microphone settings, and all I have to go off is that bar, and now you guys, so that's cool. Thank you, I appreciate it. I want to make sure, like, things aren't messing up. Okay, that was crazy. Yeah, it was. Hitomi panted as she caught her breath. Well, you know what they say. Idle feet are the devil's playthings. First, I think it's idle hands. Second of all, I don't think that means Aki, run across the street. Middle hands. It's idle hands. Whatever. At least they've gotten away. He's right. I mean, they made it. I'm sure we'll have to come back to this point and not cause the traffic accident so people can go ahead. Come on, let's go. Aki led the way down several twisting side streets before slowing his pace. Oh, similar... Yeah, but the thing is, one of them owns up to it and is basically just a guy who picks up garbage on the side of the street and tries to beat up people to make things better. And the other is a world-renowned scientist with multiple countries fighting over his brain and his research. So for them to have the same levels of intelligence, it's believable with Aki. He himself is like, I'm not the brightest one here, but I do what I do and I'm going to follow my heart. And like, you know, he owns up to it. But Osawa's like, no, I'm a scientist. What's a microwave? Like, at no point do they ever have to heat something up in a laboratory setting? Maybe they just boil it, but he doesn't seem to know how to boil anything either. Okay, that's what I want to think about. Yeah, it's fine. By now, Hitomi was slumped and panting heavily. Oh, yep. He wanted to give her some time to rest, but if they just hung around, their pursuers might still find them. That's true. In a lab, you probably don't. You'd probably, if you had to heat something up, you'd boil it. But, like, a hot plate. But, like, if you can work a hot plate, you can work a microwave. Period. He looked around and spotted a multi-tenant building. The nearest door was open. Bundles of flyers were set out near the entrance. Uh-oh. The flyers were Au revoir, the 22nd performance by the theater troupe The Wandering Angels. It tells the tale of a man named Ryu, looking back on his 100-year life as a warrior. The performance features wire action as its major set piece, with Ryu and his rival Shido flying high through the air, doing battle with the magical Muramasa blade and Beam Saber, respectively. Beam Saber. Also, hey Valvinith, well, how's it going tonight? Welcome to Viperlane of the Chat. We We just finished playing as a scientist who doesn't know how to use a microwave or where any of the utensils are in his house, and now we're running from pursuers as Aki, the god mode trash picker upper dude. Aki peeked inside and saw piles of plywood and painted lumber. It looked like this was a storeroom for theater stage props and scenery. We can hide out in here, he said. But Hitomi hesitated, but Aki gave her hand a little tug. It'll be fine, there's nobody around. Oh, also, we're being chased by guys with guns. Cool. They stepped inside the storeroom and Aki quickly shut the door behind them. You should probably rest for a bit. There's a wooden platform set up beside a large piece of plywood. Aki picked up a magazine that had fallen on the floor and spread it out atop the platform's dusty surface. Here, now you can sit without getting your clothes dirty. Thank you. Hitomi quietly took a seat. We should probably turn off our cell phones, Aki said. It's smart. It could be really bad if they rang at the wrong moment. They could also be tracked, and we know one of these guys is tracking at least one of you. We don't know who he's tracking, we don't know exactly how. Cell phone's a decent guess, though. The two powered off their phones. Aki took a cursory look around. It didn't look like there were any way in or out besides the door they'd come through. There was a single window set in the wall, but it wouldn't open far enough to let them through. Yes, oh. Oh. Ah! Hitomi let out a quiet gasp. Someone was outside the storeroom. That's legitimately a little freaky. Aki put a finger to his lips, and Hitomi gave a fearful nod. The window's frosted glass blocked any real view in or out. So long as they stayed quiet, they ought to be safe, but like, who does that to a random window on a building? Whoever was outside pressed their face to the frosted glass, trying to get a glimpse inside. The blurry visage of the foreigner who'd attacked them was dimly visible. Like the man with the cane before him, this guy was quick to catch up. The man pounded on the glass. Aki swallowed the lump in his throat. If this guy got in, they had nowhere to run, except the entrance they ran through. Or whatever. Aki turned to Hitomi. Let's hurry up through the door, we'll be fine, just sit tight. I kinda like the quiet, but it could easily, both of them could easily backfire. Both of them could very easily backfire, and that's a good question too. We know, again, at least one of them is being tracked. And if one guy can track him, another guy probably could too. I'm gonna lean B for our first try though. We'll be fine, just sit tight. Hitomi clutched onto Aki's arm, hard. Can I help you with something? Said a casual voice from outside. They saw their pursuer react at once, pulling back from the window. That's just our storeroom, you know, the voice added. Aki heard footsteps scampering away. The kidnapper had run off. Aki exchanged glances with Hitomi and let out a tiny sigh. There were more voices coming from outside now. What was up with that guy? I don't know. Ugh. Ugh. Ah, whatever. Let's just hurry and get stuff tightened up. Man, my throat's raw. It sounded like a conversation between two men. The storeroom door opened and the men clomped their way inside. Tomonari Takaya and Taro Toga, two members of the theater troupe, the Wandering Angels. Takaya is the Wandering Angels' star actor, playing the lead role of Ryu in today's performance of See You Later, Alligator, the troupe's 22nd piece. Last night, he slept completely naked and caught a cold, leading to the sore throat he has now. Toga is the stage director, handling things behind the scenes. He's very irritated that Shinichi Bando, in charge of the props, seems to have gone AWOL. Why though? Don't know. So what are we getting? Ugh. Let's grab all these folding chairs over there. Huh? Yeah? The producer said we're going to need a lot more seats all of a sudden. Mr. Orai said that? Going all out for the troops' last hurrah, huh? Beats me, man. In no real hurry, the men went about carting the folding chairs away. They didn't notice Aki and Hitomi sitting silently in the shadows. Not to change the subject, but how come we're using a dry ice machine and not a smoke machine? Ah! Wait, we didn't tell him yet. Oh, no, wait, no. That wasn't us to telling him, it was the reporter guy, so the reporter guy must have told him. Yes. The dry ice machine is the one that doesn't stop making dry ice once it started. Maybe that's why my throat's bothering me. Ugh. Yeah, it's pretty weird. Nobody's even operating it, and it's still drawing a ton of power. Oh no. Think it's defective? Yeah. Aki and Hitomi waited for the two men to finish up. Gonna meet these dudes later. Yeah, so he hasn't yet. If they were spotted, it would probably cause a scene, and worse still, it might alert the men who were hunting them. Once they carried it off the rest of the folding chairs, the men closed the storeroom door. The foreigner could still be somewhere nearby, though, so Aki decided they should hide out in the room a little longer. Yeah, I feel like staying put was a good call. God, this blows. I want to get back out there to look for that blue van ASAP, but... Aki trailed off as something occurred to him. Wait a second? Now that's weird. Hitomi looked at him inquiringly. The kidnappers already have the ransom money, yeah? Aki said. That's right. And then they told you that your sister was in some blue minivan. Isn't that kind of weird? What do you mean? Did you figure that your sister was in the minivan by herself? Oh, yeah. If one of the kidnappers were with her, they wouldn't need to send me to get her. Right, Aki said. And yet the fact was that as soon as the kidnappers had their money, they could have let Hitomi's sister out of the vehicle and just run off. There's no point in sending Hitomi to fetch her personally. A look of revelation dawned upon Hitomi's face. Oh. That minivan had already left Danganronpa, she said. And it came back while we were there waiting for it, Aki finished. He thought back to his earlier run-in with the blue vehicle. So then inside that minivan, there had been a bunch of foreigners inside. Which meant the kidnappers had been trying to ambush Hitomi, didn't have any intention of giving her sister back. This one. Ooh, didn't know there was an Xbox showcase? If anything relevant to me shows up, I'm sure I'll see it either in Discord or on Twitter. The kidnappers had been trying to ambush Hitomi. They told her that her sister was in that minivan to lure her to it, and the kidnappers had been lying in wait inside. Do you think they were trying to kidnap me too? Ooh, excuse me, sorry. Just a moment. That's it. Aki clapped his hands together. Then they'd let your sister go and demand a ransom for you. Aki. And then they'd make her deliver the ransom money for your release. Then they'd be able to get, like, infinite ransom money by constantly abducting one twin after the other. That's true, they were not mutually exclusive. But it seems like you wouldn't send a few people unless you were trying to capture somebody in this situation. You're right, not mutually exclusive, though. He's almost got the right... Yeah. That seems a little far-fetched. Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. Now that she'd said so, Aki realized it was kind of a ridiculous idea. Still, what if the kidnappers really were trying to kidnap me? Hitomi said. As in, like, they accidentally abducted the wrong twin? I mean, I guess that would have been easy to botch up. That would imply that they wanted me specifically and not my sister. Hitomi paused briefly and thought. Maybe you're hotter than your sister or something. Aki suggested with enthusiasm. Her twin sister. I mean, that shouldn't have been his idea even if they weren't. But they're also twins. They're twins. It already shouldn't be what he had said at that point anyway, but like, extra for that. Hitomi shook her head. That can't be it. If anything, it's the other way around. You're twins! True. We don't know if they're identical twins. Do we know that, though? I feel like they must be. I am not 100% sure, though. You're right, I'm not 100%. I assumed as much, but I don't know if we've been explicitly told as much. They didn't specify. Okay. Whoa, hey, stop right there. Aki had to interrupt her. You're not just anything. Please, don't. I am. I'm just... Tears had welled up in Hitomi's eyes. Why'd this have to happen to her? Why not me? Whoa, hey, come on. Don't cry. I'm sorry. Cheer up. It's like that song says. Don't just stand there, wipe those tears away. That one. You know, that one. Aki tries really hard. To be fair, he's trying. That's not specific, yeah. You know it? Is that Ayakamiki? Yeah. Oh, her. That's the one. Put your hand in mine. Every single bee's a light. Song lyrics are fun. Huh? You know, every single bee's a light. You tell me that at a giggle. Everything will be alright. Hmm? You've got the lyrics wrong. It's everything will be alright. Ah, right. Yeah, I guess that makes more sense, I guess. I mean, I have a long-standing history with misheard song lyrics, so, like, I get it. I understand. It can definitely be easy to mishear lyrics. So, like, I understand that. Really playing songs. Yeah. Oh yeah, I absolutely can relate too. Aki's mouth curled into a sheepish smile. Alright, I think we've laid low long enough, Aki said at last. Think we should be on our way? He was about to get to his feet when he heard voices outside the storeroom again. Yikes, that was pretty careless of us. Yeah, we definitely gotta watch it. Ugh. The theater guys from earlier had returned, and they sounded a bit panicked. Excuse me, Tomonari Takaya? Excuse me again. Sounds like it's... Yeah, oh, for sure. Oh, what's like the... I feel like the Jimi Hendrix, excuse me while I kiss this guy, is always my favorite. And that's what I heard for years when I was way younger, and it's like, oh, nope, that ain't it. Two members of the theater troupe The Wandering Angels. Takaya is the Wandering Angels' star actor, but lately, in addition to appearing on their stage, he's been taking on TV drama and film work as well. The next role he's slated for is in Sun TV's upcoming suspense drama Sumo Queen 2. We saw tryouts for that, where he will play the referee who utters the lame line, "It looks like things are getting heavy," upon discovering a victim's dying message inscribed in one corner of the sumo ring. Didn't we have a reference to that line in a previous... Even the, like, help tips are interwoven. Like, clever bastards. Heard folks have been messing with the storeroom a bunch recently. Yeah. And did you hear who's behind it? Some juvenile delinquents. Uh-oh. Like a gang? Wow, that takes me way back. You know, if somebody's saying juvenile delinquents takes you way back, what does it take you back to? Alright, let's just hurry on back. Aki rushed over to the door. He tried turning the knob, but the door wouldn't budge. Oh, come on, are you freaking kidding me? He paced frantically around the room, pulling at his hair. We're locked in! Oh no. And that door was the only way in or out. Aki and Hitomi were well and truly trapped inside the storeroom. This is all my fault, Aki said. It was my idea to hide out here in the first place. To be fair, the kidnapper's not going to find him. He bowed to Hitomi repeatedly. We're never going to be able to find that blue minivan now. Guess we'll have to get someone on the outside to help us, Hitomi replied. She scowled thoughtfully. They powered their phones back on in order to call for help. The big question was who they could possibly ask. Hitomi, anyone you can reach out to? Mr. Tanaka, I suppose. Tanaka! Right. The suggestion didn't exactly thrill Aki. He had no idea what this Tanaka guy was like. Hopefully, he was the dependable sort who'd actually show up to rescue them. But somehow, that thought made Aki feel even worse. If he's dependable, maybe they're dating. Aki had someone he figured he could call, but he hesitated, uncertain. There had been a time when he'd trusted this guy more than anyone. They'd bailed each other out of countless jams. Nowadays, though, things were different. Maybe. Hitomi gave Aki a puzzled look as he sat, lost in thought. Right, Guess I don't have much of a choice. Aki scrolled through the contact list on his cell phone. He found a name he had thought he'd never call again. Susumu. Oh, wasn't he one of the guys that we spotted? Like, didn't we kind of rough him up a little bit? Yo, Aki? Is that you? Susumu's voice was low and guarded. Look, I've got a favor to ask you. I'm in a real bind here. Huh? Like, things are ridiculously bad. I thought maybe you could help me out a little bit. You seriously thought I'd help you? Susumu's words were like ice. You messing with me or something, man? Now he sounded a touch angry as well. Painful memories flashed before Aki's eyes. Alright then. Sorry to bug you. Just forget it. But Susumu hung up before Aki was even finished talking. Oh. No dice, Aki said to Hitomi with a lopsided frown. She looked back at him, her expression a mirror of his own. What should we do? What should we do? I guess we're back to Mr. Tanaka. Guess so. You wanna go ahead then? Hitomi tried calling him, repeatedly, but Tanaka didn't pick up. What could have happened? She muttered under her breath. Do you think maybe the kidnappers found out that Mr. Tanaka and I had been in contact? Aki shrugged. It looked like they were just going to need to find some way out of here on their own, and then maybe look for the minivan themselves. That's a very doorknob-centric shot. Aki strode over the door and grabbed hold of the knob. He tried giving it a good sturdy pull. Kick it. Kick it. We haven't seen Tanaka for a little bit. It's all been Donkey Kong. So I don't remember if they gave us a reason as to why. I don't remember if he's like, oh, I gotta go do something or something, but like, I think the last time we saw him was in the toilet, getting uncomfortably close. But I don't remember. I think that was the last we saw of him, but I don't remember what his like exit from that was. If it's like, oh, I gotta do something, or if he's just, we haven't seen him. Ugh, no good. The thing won't even budge. Kick it, dude. You've kicked people, like, so hard. Just kick it. Shared her first message. Yeah, exactly. That door opens outward. Wait. Really? Aki tried giving it a push. It still didn't. Okay. I was about to be like, if it opened, if it just popped open, I would have been like, Aki, you dumb man. Oh ho! The door wasn't nearly as sturdy as Aki had expected. Like I said, kick it. Think I could make this work. He backed up to get a running start, then kicked the door with all his might. Yeah. The door went flying off its hinges. Aki too strong. Aw man, that was way too easy. Aki stepped cautiously out of the storeroom. He quickly scanned the surrounding area. They're gonna be mad that somebody... Like, they came back to lock the door because they were forgetful of it. Now the door is gonna be askew the whole time. By askew, I mean on the ground. There was nobody in sight. Looks like we're in the clear, he called. But Hitomi didn't come out, nor did she reply. Hitomi? She had her phone in hand, apparently, still trying to get in touch with Tanaka. With a tiny sigh, Aki leaned against the wall and waited for her to finish. Well? Doesn't look like I'm gonna have any luck, she said. You know we can leave now, right? Are you still holding out hope for your Mr. Tanaka? It's not that, I'm just a little worried. Oh yeah, okie dokie then. I'll just, wait around here. Okay, I'll be right with you. Uh-huh. Aki shuffled his way back outside. Oh, crap. By the time Aki could finish processing the thought, he was already laid out on the ground. His jaw hit the asphalt hard. He bit the tip of his tongue clean off. The taste of blood filled his mouth. Well, a moment later he took a sharp blow to the head. He was done for. All the energy drained from his body. His mind whirled. His vision grew hazy. He began to drift from consciousness. Back when he'd run with Susumu and the others, he'd never left himself exposed to a surprise attack. There were plenty of times when he'd taken a punch that sent him reeling, only to spin away and come back swinging. This time, he hadn't even seen it coming. It was his last mistake. Damn, heh, guess I've let myself go soft. Aki grimaced inwardly, muttering in a voice no one but he could hear. Hitomi, I'm so sorry. Well, welcome to the bad end, Potions. Attacked by the man with the cane. Aki successfully managed to break out of the storeroom, only to be knocked out by the man with the cane while he waited for Hitomi. Things might have gone differently if Hitomi had managed to get in contact with Tanaka. Why hadn't he responded to her calls? Maybe something strange had happened at the Osawa residence, or perhaps there was some reason he wasn't able to answer the phone. Okay, so we need to go back to Osawa, but Osawa's at a dead end for now, so we gotta go to somebody else's story, which means we finally get to our boy, the final guy. I think, because there's no other connections, right? We have at least one other person add a keep out, but I don't think we can do anything about it. It's your boy, Lasty, the guy we go to last. Bad end, keep out. Huh. Why does that stop there? Why does that stop there? That's weird. We didn't change anything, right? We just jumped. We made decisions in Aki's there and there. Huh. All the way back to the bug tracker. I'm just gonna kind of like fast forward through this and see if anything's different, because that's weird that it's weird that it blanked it out. Yeah, it's defective, he slapped it out of his hand, whatever. Different noise cut in over the bug tracker. That's new, right? That's new? We didn't have this before. He was like, oh, it's just defective, don't worry about it. Kajiwara here. Hmm? Kano? Kajiwara's customary nonchalant expression vanished into a sudden seriousness. Sorry, hold on, he continued. I can't really hear you. He headed out of the room, the phone clutched to his ear. Osawa was left to wonder what the detective had been about to tell him. The bug tracker was what? What the heck was going on? The sound wasn't stopping. Deciding that he'd better do something, Osawa took the bug tracker and checked behind his bookcase. It didn't seem like the signal was coming from back there. He proceeded to pull each and every one of the books off the shelf. Nothing. He checked the area around his computer. He scanned the monitor, the case, the power outlet, but he found nothing that could be a listening device anywhere. He found a small screwdriver and dismantled the mouse. Oh man, Logitech. About to say, it's not so old that it's a ball mouse. It's still a laser mouse, so it's not too old. The brown circuit board was lined with chips, but nothing appeared out of the ordinary. So he knows how to disassemble a mouse, but he can't work a microwave with a single knob? Sorry, 2 knobs? Really? Really? And still, the mechanical sound continued, mocking him. Just try to find it. Go ahead, look everywhere. Beep, 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 beep. He was being ridiculed. The sound just wouldn't stop. And still the time ticked past. Had it been 5 minutes? 10? Maybe more. He began to lose hope that he could find the listening devices. And even to stop caring. Instead, he was overcome with the feeling that this room, which for years had been his sanctuary, had ceased to be his own. It was as if something other had intruded and laid claim to his personal space. In his fevered mind, He began to hear the tracker sound as a high-pitched laugh, and a cursed, relentless noise, cruel and taunting, the mockery of the devil himself. Osawa hurled the bug tracker against the wall. Then he picked it up, only to smash it back onto the floor. Then he stomped on it ferociously. There was a satisfying snap, accompanied by the sensation of the thing being crushed underfoot. Yeah, right, Potions? Right? I don't know. How does somebody who has spent a period of his life without a wife, without any significant other in his life, while having 2 twin daughters, not know how to use a microwave? It's not even buttons, his is a dial. And on the front of it, he had to heat up rice. On the front of it was the picture of rice with the number 1 next to it. And like, I can't read Japanese, but I could tell that that meant turn dial to 1. That's it. That's it. Like, I don't read the language, and I could figure that out. He couldn't. The noise stopped, or, well, it ought to have. And yet for some reason the horrid noise kept sounding in Isawa's ears. It wasn't coming from the bug tracker after all. It was inside his own head, somewhere, inescapable, echoing within his skull. No, the noise didn't stop. It only grew louder. Why? 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 Osawa screamed. Why? Why was he being tormented like this? He couldn't take it anymore. He couldn't even think straight anymore. He felt his mind beginning to dissolve. What did we do differently? Right? Okay. From brain freeze, the insistent beeping from the bug tracker wound up driving Osawa out of his mind. What Kajiwara was about to say just before he got that phone call was pretty crucial for Osawa to hear. Unfortunately, the call distracted him, and he left the room before he could finish his thought. Things could have gone differently if only someone hadn't called Detective Kajiwara right then. But why was it different the first time? We didn't change anything. Unless Tanaka called Kajiwara because we called Tanaka, but why wouldn't Tanaka call Osawa, the guy he actually works with? Why would he call the detective instead? It kind of changed the timeline out of spite because we don't play him. You know, I believe that one. So we still don't know how to get back here, but it seems like both the other bad ends potentially... Well, no, that's not true. But it seems like Kano has some influence here. Let's hit up Kano. At least gives us the full picture of like what we have to work with around here. I don't actually hate Kano, but it's just become a joke that we pick him last now. Also, 1 second besides the drink. That might be it. That actually might be it, man. You're right. Because we had made the decision to make that car crash pile up, which we know he got trapped in, so that might actually be what changed it. Cool. Good thinking. Really good. Because I was just wondering, like, I didn't care that we got a bad end, but I'll eventually want to get all of them, but, like, I was just curious as to why, and that makes a lot of sense. The car moved at a glacial pace towards the crime syndicate's hangout. Stanley pounded his fist on the steering wheel in frustration. They had no sooner set out than the traffic slowed to a near standstill. Despite the occasional lurch, it never crept above a crawl. Kano stewed in the passenger seat. The case was rapidly getting out of hand. Now he had to worry about the safety of both Maria and her sister, Hitomi. Never mind the fact that Detective Teteno had also gone missing. There were too many unknowns, too many uncertainties. His unease was growing unbearable. You should whip out your dick diary and see if there's any dictums that might help you out. Also, Teteno hasn't radioed in, and, like, we can't reach him from our end either. Yuse's words kept echoing inside Kano's head. What could have caused Teteno to drop out of contact? Someone had gone after Hitomi while Kano and the others were busy tailing the attaché case. Could Teteno have been... No, it couldn't be. Kano was sure Teteno would have done whatever was necessary to keep Hitomi safe. Potion's like, ramen's already on it, we know. Stanley broke the long silence. 350 quotes, though. Jeez. What's on your mind? Still thinking about that call from Kuze? Kano didn't answer. Look, if you're worrying about that other detective, the guy couldn't even protect one girl. Stanley continued. Not exactly a ringing endorsement. Don't you talk about Detective Teteno that way. I'm concerned about Hitomi Osawa, but the missing attaché case needs to come first. Why? Stanley's expression remained stone cold. Kano flashed him a sidelong glare, then went back to staring out the window. They always do, don't they? A moment later, a flurry of motion in a nearby alley caught his eye. Oh, with a start, he recognized Sasayama! Oh hey, look, it's Sas! His fellow detective was caught up in an altercation with a man in dark clothes. Kano sprang into action, his body moving almost before his mind registered the situation. Sasayama! I want to see more of his really, really weird cosplay ideas. Flinging the door open, he leapt out of the car. Hey, wait! Stanley called after him. But Kano was already sprinting towards the fight. Oh, he's still in the anime shirt. Oof! The other man knocked Sasayama onto a pile of garbage. As Sasayama struggled to get back on his feet, his opponent looked down at him with a triumphant sneer. Kano finally got a good look at the man, and his eyes flashed with recognition. It was the perp who'd first taken the attaché case back at the Scramble. Tariq Al-Karawan. You! Kano growled, giving away the element of surprise, and making sure that he knew you were there before you could possibly tackle him. Never expected him to use detective disguise as a weeb. I know, right? But as we saw earlier, nobody expects the Sas Inquisition. Nobody expected it. We really didn't expect that it was a cosplay Sasafune Inquisition, but still, it checks out. The secret legs of Sas. He sped like a bullet to tackle Al-Karawan around the legs. But the man nimbly stepped aside. Kano's arms closed on nothing but air. Dude, you'd let yourself be... At the same moment, Al-Karawan deftly wrapped an arm around Kano's neck. Kano felt a vice-like pressure on his carotid artery. A move known as the front choke sleeper hold. Constricting the carotid artery stops blood flow to the brain, causing the opponent to lose consciousness, also known as a guillotine choke. On. Yeah, that is the same dude chasing Hitomi now, so yeah. That is a very specific reference, but you know. His consciousness quickly began to slip away. Oh, no you don't, you bastard, he snarled. Lowering his center of gravity, he got hold of one of Al-Karawan's legs and used his shoulder as a fulcrum against it. Nyah! Despite the arm still crushing his neck, Kano managed to lift his opponent high into the air. He continued the movement to heave Al-Karawan up and over himself, slamming him upside down into the heap of trash. Hopefully Sas got away from there first. Stanley strolled up to the aftermath of the struggle. Well, we got the brawn part down, he said. Need some work on the brains. Al-Karawan was sprawled out on top of the mound of refuse. He'd been knocked out cold. Sasayama coughed and sputtered. Kano went to help him to his feet, but Stanley stepped in between them. What are you doing? Stanley asked. Helping Sasayama, what does it look like? We need to apprehend Al-Karawan first. He's not even conscious. Sasayama can come first. He pushed Stanley aside and crouched down alongside his partner. Why did Jujutsu specifically go for carotid arteries? Don't know. villains and stuff. I would assume because it's something that general populace has at least a passing knowledge of. Tama. Tama has brains. Kinda. Do any of our protagonists have brains? Aki admits he doesn't have brains. Osawa clearly doesn't. Osawa may be the stupidest of all of them, and that's crazy. I don't think Minorikawa is stupid. I think he actively just runs on instinct instead of intelligence. I don't think he's stupid because if he writes articles that get him some amount of pay, he's got to have some amount of intelligence. Yeah, but we don't have a super high intelligence. Osawa put all of its points into int and got none into wisdom. 0. Pure dump stat, like almost negative. That's the only explanation. It's the only one, because like it's a world-renowned scientist. Tactless and sheltered, yeah. Yeah, but he also clearly put charisma as his dump stat, but maybe he didn't. He had 2 women marry him, and one of them decided to have kids with him. So clearly charisma wasn't his dump stat. He just doesn't seem to get along well with everyone, I guess. It's specific charisma. It's the real, yeah, that's the real mystery for sure. We don't know for sure, but yeah, it does seem a little, it seems a little possible it's an arranged marriage. I don't know if we have confirmation of that. We have a gossip magazine saying that. And we do have, yeah, it seems likely, but I don't know if we know for sure. Are you alright? He asked. Yeah, Sasayama groaned. You bailing me out, though. Can't let the missus know about that. It was just a tabloid, but it is suspiciously quite possible for that to be true, too. Mum's the word, Kano said. He slipped an arm underneath Sasayama and helped him to his feet. I managed to find the guy who had the attaché case, Sasayama said. But when I tried to arrest him, this fella came out of nowhere and attacked me. He flashed Al-Karawan a nasty look. So here we go again, disobeying direct orders, Stanley huffed. What's the deal with Japanese police anyway? He shook his head in exasperation. Is it hard confirmed? Unless the boss hard confirmed it, which maybe he did. And mind you, she held on to that article, so like, that carries some amount of weight, the fact that she would specifically save that. I don't know. If it was hard confirmed, I'm clearly drawing a blank on it, but even if it's not, it seems at least halfway decently likely. Sasayama gave Kano a puzzled look, jerking his thumb at the American. Who's this guy? It's a long story, Kano said. He filled Sasayama in on the situation. Banana Man? Did he? Could have confirmed it. I don't recall, but that wouldn't be the first time either. Enough chit-chat. Hurry up and cuff this guy, Stanley said. Kano knelt down by Al-Karawan's unconscious body, flipped him over, and proceeded to cuff his hands behind his back. So how is he chasing... Kano paused. Al-Karawan's sleeve had slid back from his wrist. How is he chasing Hitomi? What's this? The unconscious man had a tattoo of a 2-headed scorpion on his left forearm. Stanley strode over. You find something? He asked. Yeah, I think this guy might be the ringleader. Seeing the image had reminded Kano of something he'd heard back at headquarters. That the head of the Foreign Syndicate had a scorpion tattoo. I mean, it's better that than a giant spider tattoo with a number on it, because then you'd be in real trouble. You also would never have knocked him out. He's clearly got to escape, but like, we'll find out, I guess. He relayed this information to Stanley. I see. Stanley called up Kuze on his cell. You'll be happy to know that the guy with the attaché case is still at large, he said. Apprehending the ringleader at this point shouldn't be an issue. One of your so very capable subordinates gave us a big step forward in this case here. You keep giving him slack, and he keeps doing the thing that I don't know. Stanley is too obviously Wesker. That's the problem. It's way too obvious that Stanley's Wesker, which makes me think he's a red herring Wesker. But if it's not a fake out, yeah, he's 100% totally Wesker. But wait a second, Sasayama murmured. That was sarcasm, wasn't it? Stanley hung up and called over to him. Think you can escort this guy back to the precinct? Yeah, sure. Seeing how very... Oh god, they let him out. They're the reason he's chasing them. Seeing how very capable I am. Kano felt his phone vibrate. The display showed an incoming call from Rumi. Hello? He answered, warily, keeping his voice down. Stanley had him a little on edge. It's me. It was Shizuo. Damn it, Kano thought. He did not have time for this right now. But if he just hung up, he might be in even deeper hot water. Kano decided he'd have to take that risk. He hung up the phone. Decided he better listen to what the old man had to say. Does he pick his job? Or does he pick the fact that his future father-in-law is already mad at him and he should keep that less so? Go and B? Go for the family drama? He's already super mad, and we know that. He's also clearly got no patience. B? Alright, we'll go with the B. Kano decided he'd better listen to what the old man had to say. Hello, sir. I'm afraid I'm not really at liberty to take a personal call right now, even if it is from my father-in-law. Stop. Dude. You didn't actually ask her to marry you yet. You were gonna ask his permission. He did his best to sound apologetic. I am not your father-in-law. Ah, yes, of course. Sorry, sir. He bowed his head reflexively, feeling like an idiot. You really don't give a damn about keeping me waiting like this, do you? Sir, I swear to you, I feel terrible. Please, I just... Flustered, he took a deep breath and composed himself. I promise you, sir. I promise I'll be there. If you can just wait a little while... Don't make promises you can't keep. Shizuo's barking rebuke made Kano break out in a sweat. Excuse me. You think I'm gonna let you off the hook just because you're working a case? Yes. As somebody who was a police officer and detective for their career, you should absolutely understand that more than your average person. Anybody should be like, oh, you're working an active kidnapping case? Yeah, do that. But he, more than others, should be like, yeah, do that. We'll chat later. This is exactly why I don't want my daughter with some detective. Okay, see, that I get. I get why he, as a detective, as an ex-detective, he wouldn't want her with a detective. That I understand. But, like, don't give him slack for doing his job the right way. Great. Another angry tirade. But didn't you used to be a detective, sir? Kano muttered. You watch yourself, you little brat. It's not enough that you keep calling me your father-in-law. Now you have to bring that up? Evidently, Kano had touched a raw nerve. Ever have a dentist? I'm gonna just not even gonna read that one. Yep. Many people don't care about anyone else. Yeah. Yeah, apparently. It seems like anything he said only made matters worse. Well, you're not off the hook, Shizuo continued. I am never letting my daughter marry the likes of you. Wow. His fury hitting its crescendo, Shizuo promptly hung up. Why on earth did Shizuo hold such intense malice towards police detectives when he'd been one himself? What did it say? You missed it? It's okay, don't worry. Dentist pain. Kano had become a detective for Rumi's sake in the first place, and now it was the biggest thing holding him back. Hey, come on, let's go. Stanley's voice snapped Kano out of his daze. Ugh. Grimly, he followed the American back to the car. Still confused? It literally was talking about the phrase, like, hit a raw nerve, like, touch a nerve when you say something that bothers somebody. And they're like, ever have a dentist hit a raw nerve in your mouth? And it's like, yes, I have. And, like, it had that, like, gut reaction, like, tooth pain for me, so I just skipped over it. That's it. Yet again, Stanley was thumping the steering wheel in frustration. Traffic hadn't let up one bit. It was starting to look like they might never make it to the Foreign Syndicate's hangout. Kano caught sight of a girl in a hoodie. Miku Morita was a fighter at the cosplay fighting pub Bride, but just decided to retire after losing to Tama, the cat, in a street fight. She's thinking about what to do with herself now. This whole thing is like... that whole text blob, like... So, this person was a fighter at the cosplay fighting pub Bride, just decided to retire because I lost to Tama the cat in a street fight. What? Oh, did you see the English version of that by Jonathan Young? Pretty good. He rolled down the window and called out to her. "Excuse me, miss? Did something happen?" I'm so glad she pulled up. Like, she's still in the story in any way still. I thought that was going to be the end of it. Huh? What do you mean? She is the best character in this game. Period. With the road, I mean, what's with all the traffic? Oh, right. Apparently there was some big accident over by the train station. That's probably what's causing it. Really? Yeah, I don't think you guys are going to be going anywhere for court. Wait, but don't we have the guy in the car that's chasing Aki? How can Aki dodge across the street to create a traffic jam because he's being chased by the guy we have in the back of our van? Unless I'm remembering wrong, right? It's gotta be different people then. It's gotta be. Maybe it's just another of the, like, subordinate type dudes. Yeah, I don't think you guys are gonna be going anywhere for quite a while. She smiled and went on her way. Stanley gave the steering wheel another punch. It's not the steering wheel's fault. Well, I guess they did say this wasn't just some typical ransom case, he muttered. Kano saw an opportunity. If they're not after the money, then what are they after? Stanley kept his eyes forward, acting as if he hadn't heard. Acting like a suspicious douchebag. Look, Kano said, I can't help you if you keep me out of the loop. After a few moments of thought, Stanley replied with a single monosyllable. Drugs. What? Maria's father, Kenji Osawa. I assume you're where he works for Okoshi Pharmaceuticals. Okay, those types of drugs, not illegal drugs. Well, they're untested. They're technically illegal, I suppose. Creepy-faced American dudes with messy black hair. Yeah, they are. Yeah. I am. Nothing's been made public yet, but Osawa recently oversaw the development of a new drug. It's not at all uncommon for a new drug to be in development for 15 years or more, with expenses totaling 20 to 30 billion yen, roughly 200 to 300 million US dollars. Before it is approved, worldwide demand and sensational profits can be expected if a groundbreaking medicine is developed. Nonetheless, pharmaceutical companies are often under major pressure due to the tremendous cost of labor and equipment. And someone's trying to get their hands on it. Kano's mind latched onto this new information, trying to assimilate the pieces of an evolving puzzle. Yeah, right potions? Right potions? Someone? Who? He's American. He definitely knows more than he lets on. He's wearing sunglasses. He's kind of gruff, kind of an asshole. I don't know. An international criminal mastermind. This foreign syndicate is merely a tool in someone else's game. Kano regarded Stanley's face carefully. It looked more cold and serious than ever. So, wait. That mean that the reason we're letting the syndicate walk around unfettered is on my orders? Yes. I see. So the only thing you're really concerned with is catching this international mastermind. Precisely. Kano felt like he was starting to get a picture of what sort of person Stanley was. So you don't really care what happens to the girl who's been abducted, do you? Not particularly. No. Yup. Why? Do you have a problem with that? Kano clenched his fist. His hand was shaking with anger. Oh, it's dick time. Hit him with that dick. Dictum. When you really want to punch something, you really probably shouldn't. That's sound advice, especially for a cop. Like, especially for a detective. That's a really good piece of advice. Kano recited the words inwardly like some sort of desperate mantra. If he didn't manage to calm himself down, he was liable to slam his fist right into Stanley's face. Honestly, that was a smart call. To be like, no. Bad call to punch Wesker. Outside the car, the traffic remained at a standstill. People kept honking at each other, because that always solves traffic. It's been proven empirically by scientific studies and data over the entire history of automobiles that honking makes traffic just go away. That's why everyone does it. Do not punch Wesker, Dick Diary. Yeah. Kano chafed against a feeling of utter futility. One after another, his uncertainties came to nag at him. Was Maria still safe? What had happened to Hitomi and Teteno, her bodyguard? And now on top of all this, it struck Kano as rather careless to send Sasayama away with Al-Karwan without any backup. Yeah, I thought he was in the truck with them. He's not. He's bringing her to the station. Frick. Now that Jack had alerted him to the presence of a dangerous international mastermind still on the loose, fighting back his fit of pique? To do something impulsively out of irritation, resentment, or the like, similar to doing something in a huff. Excuse me. Also, hey Risky, welcome to Viperland to the chat. How you doing tonight? Kano got out his cell phone. No, don't make the call! He dialed up Sasayama. He wanted to make sure... Yeah, we can't dial up Detective Kajiwara, right? With a little more information. Oh, man. But if we played this one first, I'd definitely pick that one, right? More information? He dialed up Sasayama. He wanted to make sure his partner had gotten Al-Karwan back to the precinct safely. We know he didn't. We also know B seems interesting, but also, gotta love Mizutsune with the shades. It's a shame you can't alter the bit emotes. Like, it's really a shame. Because, like, I would absolutely do that. But you can only change these ones. Like, if I could do the bit emotes with that too, it would be fantastic. But sadly, you know, I want to make sure his partner had gotten Al-Karwan back to the precinct safely. Don't get me wrong, maybe I should have picked that one first, Ramen, so that I could go back to this, but like, we'll figure it out. It'd be funny if we have to pick that one for something. Sasayama picked up almost right away. Kano, what's up? How are things on your end? Any problems getting Al-Karwan back? Nah, I've got Teteno taking care of him. Wait, what? Kano could hardly believe his ears. You were in touch with Teteno, he asked? You could hear the shock in his own voice. Yeah, just bumped into him over by the precinct a little while ago. Okay. The sad Viper hiding it behind the shades. Then he is safe. He wears his sunglasses at night so that nobody can see him cry. Not shady at all. No, it's definitely not. Kano felt a surge of relief. What about Hitomi then? Stanley glanced over at him, curious. Teteno says he lost track of her, somehow. And then he got called back to the precinct, apparently. That's a lot of somehows and apparentlys. Oh, why didn't that one work? We're having issues with specifically, I think it's just Viper or Rip. No, Viper or Rip and Viper or Lull have been giving us issues the past few days. Where like it'll show up on the person's end who does it. Like if I did that, it would work for me. Well, you guys will probably just see the text. And I don't know why that's happening. I haven't gone into any settings for emotes since I uploaded the bit emotes like weeks ago. We had that idea before that he might be the Cane Man, and I don't have anything to disprove it, but I don't think that's him. Because I think we saw him in a flashback, but that was a flashback, so you don't know. But it's like it could be. He could be Cane Man. Yeah, same here, Ramen. Same here. Teteno had lost track of her? That's not like him, Kano thought. Since he was heading back there anyway, I handed our guy over to him, Sasayama said. I see. Kano was glad to hear that Teteno was alright, but his relief was tempered by a surge of anger at the thought of what had happened to Hitomi. Excuse me. See, why are the emotes not... But like, I'm sure on your guys' end, you're seeing them. I might have to like re-upload them or something, I don't know. I've changed nothing. It's only been happening the past day or two. Now I'm back to tailing the attaché case, Sasayama continued. Today is my wife's birthday, you know? My plan is to wrap up this thing ASAP so we can celebrate tonight. Oh no. I've already got a present and everything. I envy you, man. Closing his eyes, Kano took a moment to picture Rumi. But Shizuo's face popped into his mind's eye right alongside her. Well, just hang in there, buddy. Even if your girlfriend is just a picture of Masami Nagahama. Midoriyama Academy graduate and national celebrity. Her popularity shows no signs of slowing down after she played the female lead in such films as The Beast That Hoarded Gold at the Heart of the World and The Swidden Fortress. There's another nationally famous actress with the same name, but it is a nationally known fact that the two are complete separate people. Okay. Man, I've refreshed mine a few times before. Let's do it again anyway, for the hell of it. Try it again, we'll see. Still snickering, Sasayama hung up. Kano bit his lip and slipped his phone back into his pocket. Nope, still... But like, again... If it is mint, I don't know. Like, it works when I do it and you guys see the text, right? It's gotta be, probably. That seems too specific not to be, but I don't know what it is. At long last, traffic began to move again. Almost as soon as it did, however, Stanley had to slam on the brakes. That caught me unawares. So yeah, so it's... Whatever it is, it's not on any person's end. It's Twitch's end. But, like, we know the emotes work, because, like, I can use them, other people can see theirs using them. Gotta be a Twitch issue. I'll have to see if I can put in a ticket for it or something like that, I don't know. The abrupt stop made Kano smack his head against the windshield. Seatbelts, fool. Seatbelts. Wear them. Hey, what gives? Look, Stanley said. He gestured with his chin. Kano couldn't believe his eyes. There, walking along the sidewalk ahead, was Al-Karawan, very much not in custody. What the hell? Kano shouted, already hopping out of the car. Stanley was right behind him. They crept up on their target as silently as possible, then rushed him once they were close. In a moment, they had subdued him. Kano used his own body weight to hold Al-Karawan down. What are you doing out here? He demanded. Whoa, hey, guess you didn't get the memo, huh? Al-Karawan flashed a coy grin. They let me go. Let you go? Think your buddy here might have hearing problems, Al-Karawan said to Stanley. I'm a free man. Kano turned and glared at Stanley. What is he talking about? Yes, of course. Maybe they're doubles? No. I don't know. No idea. First things first, get this guy back to the precinct. I'll head to the syndicate hangout by myself. You don't think this is weird? Kano asked. I mean, what the heck is this guy doing on the loose again? What matters is that he is free. Maybe he's telling the truth about being let go. Well, that's ridiculous. And I guess he must have escaped on his own, Stanley replied. In either case, your buddy screwed up royally. Yeah. Now it's on you to unscrew things. Yeah, same guy. None of this sat right with Kano, but the fact remained that he couldn't just let Al-Karawan go. He gave Stanley detailed directions to the hangout, and the car sped away towards Yoyogi. Then Kano headed back to the precinct with his captive, trying to reassure himself that he might learn something from questioning Al-Karawan that would help resolve the case. Oh man, the last time he went into questioning with somebody, he got so frustrated he quit his job forever. Kano sat opposite Al-Karawan in the interrogation room, which also would have let him meet up with his future father-in-law, and maybe his relationship would have gone better, but you know. Yeah, there's something up with Toteno. Like, for sure. Kano sat opposite Al-Karawan in the interrogation room. He'd been attempting to interview the suspect for about a quarter of an hour. Al-Karawan sat rimrod stiff, not responding to any prompts or questions. What time is it right now? He asked. They'd taken away his watch, his wallet, a small knife, and his keychain. This was the third time he'd asked to know the time. Why are you so concerned what time it is? Kano asked. I don't know, maybe there's some big thing planned, a bomb, a second kidnapping, something, you know. Are you waiting on something? Yeah, maybe. Again, the suspect was staunchly silent. Kano wasn't sure what to make of this, but he took a look at his watch. Why would you tell him? Oh my god, you idiot. It's around 2 o'clock, he said. What time exactly? It's 2:18. 2:18, and how many seconds? Look, just cut the crap. Kano grabbed the prisoner by the collar. What the hell are you people after? Al-Karawan merely repeated his question. What time is it right now? With a growl of aggravation, Kano shoved his wristwatch in Al-Karawan's face. Ah, it's 2:20, Al-Karawan said. Okay then, that should do it. What? What does that mean? The interrogation went on for several more hours. Oh no. That's not good. Despite Kano's best efforts, however, Al-Karawan said nothing more. During all that time, the case continued to develop in unexpected ways, but Kano, stuck in the interrogation room, knew nothing about it until everything was already over and done. Yep, another bad end. Why is the screen... So we're gonna swap back to our good friend, the Doctor, anyway, right? While Kano performed admirably in recapturing Tariq al-Arwan, ironically, his action actually disrupted the investigation. Maybe letting the Syndicate run free for the time being really was the right call. Someone can do something at 1340 that throws a wrench into Kano's activities. Thanks to the involvement of unrelated parties, and Kano's reaction, will make the investigation play out differently. 1340. Norikawa can... I don't think that'll change anything. There's something we might be able to do once we get past the keep out. Aki's changed too. It's not a dead end anymore. It's not a bad end anymore. Oh, because she's not stuck on the phone. Yeah. She's not stuck on the phone anymore. Wait, no. Maybe she is? Either way, this is different. I'm curious as to why it's different. Yeah, I'm gonna try Aki. The one that should change is the Doctor, Osawa. But I keep calling him a doctor, but he's a scientist, more so. Here guys from earlier. Yep. It locks us in. Rush to the door. Yep, door don't move. Goes all the way in or out. Yep. Doesn't seem to be playing out differently though. Maybe it doesn't, but like, the fact that it didn't show the ending it had... Oh, she gets the call first. Okay, that's different. She took a look at the LCD display. Okay, see, at least it's different. Even if it's another bad end or dead end or whatever, like, at least it's different. It's an email from Mr. Tanaka. Ah, okay. Hitomi began typing out a response with practiced ease. More wild delusions rose in Aki's mind. Ideas or fantasies conjured up in one's mind with no logical or factual basis. People can become deluded for various reasons, about a whole host of different subjects. Thankfully, Aki's delusions here are of an ultimately harmless sort. Stealing a quick glance at Hitomi, he noticed her gazing happily at her phone screen. Maybe they are dating, I don't know. Be weird, but his delusions ran even more wild. Don't go wilder than that. If they zoom into them holding hands, I might have to turn the stream off. I might have to just censor the stream, hard cut it. While he was still fretting furiously, Hitomi finished typing her response. So, what did you wind up saying? Aki asked. I explained the situation. That's that we're trapped in a storeroom, you've got some guy chasing after you, and you're looking for some van. Yes. I also asked him to please keep this a secret from my family and the police. Whoever this Tanaka guy was, Hitomi sure seemed to put a lot of trust in him. He did. A short while later, Hitomi's phone chimed with a reply. She checked the screen in a flash, all eagerness. Aki couldn't help but ask. It is utmost to pretend he didn't notice. He's asking, not looking. I mean, the picture is him looking, but the text is him asking about it, not just reading over his shoulder. I'm gonna go with A because I'm curious, yeah. Aki couldn't help but ask. So, what's that Tanaka guy have to say? A hint of jealousy slipped into his voice. He says he's going to try to find the minivan for us. Huh? If he just comes and lets us out, I can go look for it myself. He says he wants us to hide out here a little longer. Ugh, what the hell? Seriously? He says that if someone's after me, it's safer to stay where we are. Yeah, I'm out of the running, Aki thought to himself. This Tanaka was clearly pretty concerned for her. And there was really only one reason a middle-aged man would think like that. Alright, fine, we'll wait. Aki turned his own phone off, then slumped back in a huff. If he leaves true. After 20 more minutes in the storeroom, the two were sitting in silence. Aki had run out of things to talk about. Do you think you'll ever be friends again? You and that one guy, Susumu, I think it was. Hitomi's question caught Aki off guard. Yeah, especially because in this timeline he didn't call. He stammered, unsure how to respond. Hitomi shook her head. I'm so sorry. I barely know you. That was insensitive of me. No, it's alright. I mean, sometimes I wish things could go back to the way they used to be, Aki said. He let out a tiny sigh. What that Kiryu guy... I forgot that there was a big, strong dude named Kiryu in here. Said was the truth. I was the guy who founded SOS. Do you know what I mean by that? Hitomi gave a slight nod. I mean, I never wanted to be in charge of a gang or anything. But I knew that if I left, SOS would just fall apart. And I didn't want everyone else to get all caught up with who would take my place, you know? So I thought long and hard about it. Looking for a way for folks to stay friends even after I was gone. Kiryu, the ultimate street thug, yup. The loud voice echoed through the pool hall that served as SOS's HQ. An establishment for playing pool, more formally known as pocket billiards. Oh, formally, not commonly. This particular place is a pool bar, serving alcohol. The standard pool table is rectangular in shape, sports 6 pockets, 4 in the corners, and 1 in the middle of each alongside, and supports multiple games, including 9-ball, 8-ball, and rotation. There are also tables without pockets. This style is known as carom billiards. What do you mean you're leaving? Susumu was positively red in the face. You're a founder, Aki. You can't just up and quit. Susumu had been almost like a younger brother to Aki. If anyone was going to try to stop him, Aki knew full well it would be Susumu. Look, I'm not gang leader material. All I've been trying to do is make sure we're able to have fun. That's not true, Susumu said. Think about all that stuff you taught us. Don't you remember? Every man gets to make one request in his life that cannot be denied. Those are your words, Aki. Did I say that? It's the heaviest thing you've ever said. Then to Aki's consternation, Susumu got down on his hands and knees. I'm begging you, please, don't leave. Without you, SOS is nothing. Aki could feel his conviction waver. I'm begging you here, from one man to another. This is my one request. Susumu, I'm sorry. Aki could barely croak out the words. I'm leaving you in charge. You can't, Susumu pleaded. Please don't say that. Aki turned his back to him in silence. Please, Aki, why won't you listen? I can't possibly beg any harder than this. Enough with all the request nonsense, Aki grimaced. What? Look at you, down on your hands and knees like that? Pathetic. Grim, hit me with that pathetic. Ultimately stems from the Greek pathetikos, meaning subject to feeling or capable of emotion. Really? Capable of emotion? I don't know if Grim's still here. I haven't actually seen Grim in the chat for a little bit, so it's fine. Over time, the meaning changed to signify... Thank you, Grim. Much appreciated. Changed to signify exciting the passions, and later on to the more modern sense of arousing one's pity. Aki spoke as harshly as he could, fighting to mask his true feelings. I'm fed up with you. All of you. With each word out of his mouth, Aki could feel his own heart breaking. But if he could make the others hate him, at least it would give SOS a reason to stay together. You know, having an entire gang hate you is probably a bad reason. How could you say that? Don't try and pull that crap. Oh, no worries. No, like, I understand. It's okay. I didn't know if you were lurking or AFK or whatever, so, like, if you couldn't and didn't, it would have been fine, too. Suzuma's tone had changed from sadness to anger. Fine then, he railed. I'm never asking you for anything again. I'll do what you want. I'll take the reins of SOS. Aki walked away, waving vaguely without looking back. Good luck. I mean it. Once he stepped out of the pool hall, he wiped his sleeve across his face. He came away wet with tears.
It's a terrible day for rain.
Oh, I clearly need a space in that, don't I? Whoops. Sometimes I think that maybe I could apologize to those guys and we can go back to the good old days again. That's never gonna happen. Not unless Susune gets better. Oh, or his sister. Okay. Stared at into the distance at nothing in particular. At least he'd sorted out how he felt about his former pals. Also, hey Topaz, how's it going tonight? Welcome to Viperland to the chat. Is there nothing that can help your sister? Hitomi asked. She needs a heart transplant. And the problem with heart transplants is that the timing is tricky. The act of surgically implanting one person's heart into another's body. Such an operation is typically only performed on a patient with severe heart disease, who cannot survive without a new heart. There are strict requirements that must be met before a heart can be transplanted, however. Chief among them is that the donor must first be brain dead. Even if there's a donor available, the transplant has to be performed within 4 hours or things get dicey. There's a lack of oxygen causes damage, referred to as warm ischemia damage. In any organ removed from a human body, a transplant must be carried out and blood circulation restored within a certain time window, known as the total ischemic time. In the case of a heart transplant, total ischemic time is only 4 hours. Helicopters and charter jets are frequently used to rapidly transport hearts for such operations. Yeah. Oh wow, I didn't realize. Someone with a heart that's a match for Suzune would need to die somewhere near her. Somewhere they could perform the surgery within that 4-hour window. The odds of that happening are so small it would almost be a miracle. Which is what my sister has been waiting for. Aki thumped the left side of his chest. If my heart would do the trick, I'd gladly let her have it. Dude. I get that you want to help your sister, but like... not like a kidney or something, dude. That maybe Suicide Dad is a match? Oh boy. Damn it, and I've got a strong heart too. He thumped himself in the chest again and again. Gives himself a heart attack, dies, his sister saved. He didn't mention it to Hitomi, but Suzune's blood type made finding her a heart transplant even more difficult. She had Bombay blood, a type of blood that does not correspond to the more common types of A, B, O, or AB. In some instances, a standard blood typing yields a result of O in such individuals. First discovered in the city of Bombay, now Mumbai, in India's west coast, the blood type takes its name from that city due to its relatively high incidence rate among the inhabitants. That true? Yeah, it's got the magnifying glass, which means it should theoretically be true. I can look it up later, I guess. It was one of the rarest blood types in the world. Apparently there were only a few dozen people in all of Japan who had it. Rare blood types such as Bombay are scarce enough that even nationwide blood centers seldom have them in sufficient supply. For this reason, when such blood types are discovered in everyday testing, samples are quickly taken to be frozen and stored at temperatures lower than 80 degrees below centigrade. 1952. Okay. Cool. I had no idea. That's what it is HH. We legitimately learned something today. Cool. Or I did at least. If Suzune were ever to receive a heart transplant, it would need to be from someone who also had Bombay blood. Aki? Hitomi sounded like she was on the verge of tears. Wow, she must really feel bad for Suzune. If you did manage to find a heart for your sister, what would you do? What do you mean? Say, if you happen across someone who is a donor match. Oh, I would do anything. Oh. A, B, plus are simply markers on the blood cell. Oh, and minus the absence, but there are other markers too. Oh, okay. Never knew. Well, he didn't mention it, so the likelihood of her suddenly having it is pretty unlikely, because it was all internal of him. I'm more just concerned of, like, whether he'd straight up murder somebody for it, but, like, if he didn't even mention it out loud and she happens to have it, oh, that's a bit much. Yeah, whatever it took. I'd risk my own life if it meant helping Susan. Oh, he'd risk his own life. He wouldn't end another. I mean, at that point, I'd assume God had granted me a miracle or something, you know? Uh-oh. Mr. Tanaka? Unfortunately for these two, it's not Mr. Tanaka. Right now, Tanaka is at the Osawa residence on his way to speak with Kenji Osawa, who's washing dishes after lunch. Oh hey, we can finally go back there. I want to see how this plays out, because it ain't going to be good, but, like, I do want to be able to jump back there. Hitomi's voice was barely a squeak. For a moment, all was silent. Maybe it's just a cat, Aki suggested, or not. Is that our way to Tama? I know we normally hop to Tama as soon as we can. He's at 1350. There's very little left in this chapter. I want to see how this immediately plays out. I don't know, man. I don't know. Honestly, I have no answers for you. The doorknob rattled ominously, the way a doorknob does when a cat gets a hold of it. Really think that's Tanaka? Aki asked. I'm not sure. If it were him, I think he'd probably say something. Aki grabbed Hitomi's hand. We'd better hide. The two of them slipped behind a large piece of plywood, stage dressing. I mean, he clearly just unlocked it. The door swung... But she took off the outfit, right? The last thing we did with her before the dead end, she got the outfit off. It's possibly not Tama. Oh, sorry, I didn't actually read it.
Oh, no.
The door swung open with a loud creak. In stepped a cat. Oh, it's just a kitty cat. A giant kitty cat. Walking upright. Aki and Hitomi stared in confusion as someone in a cat costume slipped into the room. There's something vaguely sinister about the fuzzy figure. The cat had both hands stuffed into its pockets, and it shuffled as it walked, dragging one leg. This is probably not fantastic. Oh! It's walking with a limp. Is that Cane Man in the cat costume? And if so, how and why? Think there's someone with the theater troupe? Aki whispered. Maybe. The two huddled in the shadows, pressed almost cheek to cheek. They watched as the cat rifled around inside one of its pockets, and then pulled something out. A gun! Oh, some keys. It was a bundle of keys. No doubt the ones it had used to get inside. Aki's eyes fixed on the furry mitt that held them. Oh no! It was stained dark red. That could be only one thing. Blood. In that moment, Aki finally realized just what was going on. That's not the theater guy. It was the assassin. He'd used the catsuit to slip past the theater people and had somehow gotten his hands on the storeroom keys. Now he tossed the keys away, then delicately adjusted the costume's wobbly head. Hitomi, we gotta run. Huh? Hitomi seemed frozen, mesmerized. Oh no, indeed. The cat turned directly towards them. The fur around its mouth was stained crimson. This is going so wrong. Hitomi let out a high-pitched cry of shock. The cat drew its other hand out of its pocket. Clutched in his mitt was a gun. Aki and Hitomi had nowhere to run. Nowhere to hide. Imagine getting to this one before playing Tama's story and losing your mind right there. What's up with the cat? Disguised in the cat costume, the killer managed to corner Aki and Hitomi. Oh, I guess it does say here. Where did he get that costume? As it happens, it's Tama's fault. She tossed the suit away after taking it off, allowing the assassin to find it and use it to deceive the theater troupe and gain access to the storeroom. Little could she have known. So we gotta go back to Tama, right? Yeah, that's a bad hand. Right? The game's suddenly like, nah, we're gonna get a little spooky on you. We're just gonna do that to people. Two of them in one sentence. I also can't believe that, all joking aside, it was just a cat. I mean, we laughed at that. It's like, haha, how's that going to lead back to Tama? And now it's like, oh, that's how. It's time I skinned this cat. I need to get rid of this costume, whatever it takes. I take hold of the head in both hands and yank it upward as hard as I can. Man got blood on his... Yeah, the hand I get. The mouth, though? Oh, please tell me I'm not just imagining things. The head feels a whole lot looser than it did before. If I give it a good enough push, then maybe... Rawr! Freedom. It comes off. I did it! I slip out of the rest of the cat costume and gleefully abandon it as I head for the knick-knack shop. Crud. She immediately abandons it. But we... Still leaves to the keep out. But it lets us jump to it, to that exact time. Maybe this is just a like a dud jump and another one will do it. I'm gonna try it one more time in case I doubt I screwed something up, but you know. Nope, crap. Well, that was smart of me. We can also go to Osawa, too. Also leads to a bandit. Maybe? Maybe? I don't know. I feel like we've had those before, though. If nothing else, we'll go to Osawa, we'll get him to the point where he's at his keep out, and we'll go from there. Because now we should have the way to go back to him. I assume it's going to play out the same way, but like... Yeah, that's true. On the map it shows it being a choice there. Okay. So that's not it for now. There's no decision here. Like, it shows that there, but I don't think there's a decision. Right? Oh! It is right there! I was wrong. I was wrong. Yes, the cat's staying in the bag. I totally spaced on that decision. Good calls. Very good calls. Alright, so we'll keep the cat suit on. Guess this cat's staying in the bag. A popular folk entomology asserts that the expression, let the cat out of the bag, comes from the unscrupulous practice of certain farmers who would sell a pig at a market, only to deceive the buyer by surreptitiously swapping out the purchased porker for a cat. The likelihood of anybody mistaking a cat, even one inside a bag, for a pig is, however extremely low, let alone the likelihood that enough people would fall for such a scheme to warrant a phrase referring to it entering the language. Yeah. I figure I'll head to the knickknack shop as is. Totally forgot I could change that. Yep. Oh, we're stuck in a suit the whole game. Okay, so that's the keep out we gotta come back to. From the other one. My theory is still that she's the sister. Like, absolutely, that's still my theory. And if that's the case, we gotta find out eventually. But I don't know, I have no... Oh, this changed again! Because he doesn't have a cat suit, so I don't even know if we can jump back to him. I don't even know how this is gonna play out, but okay. Why are you banking on her to be Maria? Like, again, that's my guess too, so like, I totally understand. At a distance, sort out feels. Heart transplants, nothing's different yet. Yeah, maybe, or like, I don't know. Either way, even if he does have the keys, he would come in as, I don't know. Something's gonna be different. Yeah, see, he didn't mention it to her, so like, it would be weird if she was like, I've got this rare blood type she's got. Like, there's no way she could know. He didn't mention it. It's all internal. Yep, go in. Do anything. Still something going on, though. For a moment, all was silent. Maybe it was just a cat. I'm going to do the exact same thing we did before and get this propped up along with this one. But we're going to see this one through to see if it's any different or better now. Oh, damn. Alright. Suddenly, someone hit the door, hard. It sounded like they were trying to break the lock. Yeah, he always knows what we are. Oh, again? You really think that's Tanaka? Aki asked. I'm not sure. If it were him, I think he'd probably say something. Aki grabbed Hitomi's hand. We'd better hide. The two of them slipped behind a large piece of plywood stage dressing. The door swung open with a loud creak. In stepped the man with the cane. The heck? Aki whispered. What's he doing here? He's tracking you. Gun drawn, the assassin prowled slowly around the storeroom. Aki and Hitomi crouched behind the plywood prop, trying not to make a sound. The man moved out of their line of sight. Aki gazed longingly at the door. Aki risked a peek around the corner of the plywood. He still couldn't see the man with the cane. The door was maybe 5 meters away? What should they do? He knows they're in here. I think making a run for it's the right call. Myself. Both have inherent risks, but I think he will find them eventually in here. So, I'm thinking A, yeah. They needed to just make a run for it. Aki took a firm grasp on Hitomi's hand. Suddenly, they heard the sound of a cell phone vibrating from behind a tall piece of plywood leaning by the door. The assassin stepped out from behind it. If they'd made a run for it, they'd probably have bumped right into him. That was a close one. Okay. Thanks, game. Aki wiped away a few beads of cold sweat. I'm sure this is the place. His voice was low and confident. Uh-oh. Did he have friends? Still clutching his phone, the assassin wandered deeper into the storeroom. Aki and Hitomi took the opportunity to slip out the door. There we go. They ran through the alleyways back towards the main road. Oh no. Before they reached it, however, they suddenly found their path cut off by one of the foreigners who chased them earlier, the accomplice of the man with the pipe. He stood waiting for them, holding a knife in one hand. Out of the frying pan and into the fire. If they turned back, Aki knew the man with the cane might catch up with them, and he had a gun. Aki slipped off his sleeveless jacket and wrapped it around his left arm. He was going to have to use his left arm to guard against the knife while punching with his right hand. That's true. It might be spotters and if he's talking with people. I just assumed he was tracking them with like a GPS type thing, but that could be the case too, yeah. He clenched his fist and braced himself. And then suddenly, he froze. Huh? A small, dark silhouette dropped from somewhere up above. Landing deftly, the newcomer lunged towards the man with the knife, closing the gap between them in the blink of an eye. Ugh. The figure delivered a swift chop to the back of the man's neck. Judo chop! Is the Tenno he might have other police tracking that? Maybe. But he wasn't in contact with the police for a long time, so it would have to be very secretive because they didn't know where he was. And he's been tracking them for a long time. He dropped to the pavement like a dead man, finally giving Aki a clear view of the shadow behind him. Aki couldn't believe his eyes. It was a small-statured young woman with Middle Eastern features. Somebody knew then. I don't recognize the tattoo. You tell me let out a little gasp. Oh, she knows her then. You're gonna be to be continued, aren't you? Oh, canon? That doesn't ring a bell to me, does it to anybody else? God damn it, he gets the worst cliffhangers. Damn it. Why does he... Like, everybody else gets like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen. But for him it's like, you must find out now. Damn it. Well, we got to be continued, so that's cool. Oh yeah, we can go back to Tama now. We can go back to Tama. Ah, the cliffiest hangers. Osawa we can do too, but I want to do Tama first, because that's what we've been doing usually. All the routes are good, but like, his is good. Wrong button. Alright, now that we've decided to toss it, to not toss it away, to stay in it, that should hopefully let us continue on. Teasing us with that Tama out of the suit. The sales demo is over, and against all odds, I managed to get paid. Money clutched in one paw, I headed to the knick-knack shop to finally buy the necklace I can't stop thinking about. There's no way it's there. She's got the money, but there's no way it's there. Hello? Anyone here? I call out. There's no reply. Is the shopkeeper out? Ah, just a moment. Panting, the sales clerk comes scurrying into the shop behind me. Why was he... I'm a little suspicious of the sales clerk, too. He definitely is suspicious. Sorry about that, just had to pop out for a sec. Ooh, you would not believe what I just saw. He leans against the pillar, gasping audibly as he tries to catch his breath. Ah, you hear about that necklace? Do you still have it? Of course. Thank you so much. I have half the money here and the rest is in my... Oh. I suddenly remember something very important. Oh no. The sales clerk gives me a curious look. What's the matter? My wallet. It's still in here. I pat the costume around the tummy. So why don't you just take that outfit off? Well, I mean, the zipper's kind of broken. I wouldn't be having all this trouble if I could just get out of this darn costume. Kind of broken? It's way more broken than that. The sales clerk points me to a full-body mirror. Oh, so it's unzipping a bit. He's right, the zipper in the back is hanging open. Taking this thing off will be a cinch now. Oh, thank you. I give him a bow. Cool. Sure, I'm not sure you need to be thanking me, he says. No, I do. If you hadn't pointed that out, I might have let myself stay stuck in here forever. So really, thank you so much. I bow again and again. Animated Tama head. I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready. The big reveal. To be continued. Like, of course. It's definitely her. Like, come on, game. Alright, so we got 2 people to be continued. Got a bad end for Kano, and I don't really know how to fix that yet. But somebody had a choice to make it 1340. Maybe it's this one? There are 2 choices of 1340. I'm curious too, but I refuse to look up anything because, like, this is one of those obscure enough games that I figure, like, normally the top 10 are all reviews, but it's probably gonna be like 1 review and then like 10 spoilers, and I'm not even gonna look. Because, like, we've made it this far, I really don't want to spoil myself on something. Oh, you're right! It just straight up says it. It just straight up says it. In case we had a doubt, it doesn't say Tama anymore. So, like, yeah. Man's name is exactly, yeah. So, like, I'm not touching it. Like, I'm curious for sure, but, like, I'm just gonna write it out as it is. I knew it was gonna change her name at some point. I knew we were gonna find out who she was, because when I went back to watch that video that I got the idea to play this from, they censored out the name. Only here they censor out that box, and I was like, So we do find out the name, and it's spoilers. Go to bed now with closure. Good plan, good plan. This is a key. Oh, we can go back to his from over here. We can maybe finish his. There we go. Yeah, get yourself some rest. Good night. Oh, potions. Tomorrow, if you have no objections, if you're still able to. Again, no worries if you can't. But if you are still able to play and you have no objections, I was thinking doing some Code Vein just to mix it up a little bit. We've done a ton of Neo, and it's been a great time. And I do want to do more post game, but I was thinking of trying Code Vein. Again, if you can't, just give me the heads up. If you have a preference towards Neo, I'm okay with that too. Just bringing it up. I will have to go. I figured we'd start a new file and roll with that. I was only 1 chapter in anyway. Okay. Oh, we didn't actually need to wait for the cat. We can go here. Alright. Oh, things are all starting to just interweave so much more now. I'll have to make sure my game's updated too in case there's an update. I don't think there has been for Code Vein. Director, if you have a moment? Tanaka poked his head into the kitchen. We got something urgent to discuss with you. Yes, of course. Osawa took the bug tracker from his pocket and handed it back to Kajiwara. I won't be needing this anymore. So the day goes, something concrete before we tomorrow. Alright, cool. That's more than enough time, so like, as long as I know more than like a half hour before the stream, I'm fine. That's all the time I'd need to like change stuff around. So like, you're all good. But I hope you sleep well. Hope tomorrow goes well for you. As soon as they had left the kitchen, Tanaka leaned in close and whispered to him. I got an email from Hitomi, who explicitly told you to not tell anybody. Oh, but they did also mention they were locked in a place. Yeah, he showed his cell phone to Osawa. It looks like my sister is being held captive in a blue minivan somewhere in Shibuya, except now we know that's not true. We had suspicions, but that man is still chasing me, so I can't really go looking for it. So now we're sending them on a wild goose chase, a blue minivan? Allow me to handle this, sir. I'll figure something out. Osawa knew he trusted Tanaka for a reason. Thank you, he said with a bow. Oh, you wouldn't happen to know any place she might have gone, do you, sir? What? It's just that all she told me is that she's been moving around. Sorry, I don't really have any idea, Osawa replied. He was ashamed to say it. There wasn't a single place he knew of where his daughter might be inclined to go. I don't know. I feel like the standing theory that the game is kind of presented, that I kind of think might be the case, is that for whatever reason they were aiming for Hitomi. And since they look similar, twins and all, whether they're identical or not, they'd still look similar. For sure, it's possible they grabbed the wrong one. And she said she woke up with a concussion and amnesia in like a warehouse, so they might have just realized their mistake, knocked her out, and just been like, whatever. What's the difference? Good question. They've given us no indication as to what the difference between them might be, other than apparently Maria kind of grew a little distant from her father after, like, graduation. That's really all we know of the difference between the two. Like, that's it. I feel like she was starting to say something about the differences between them, but, like, no, she woke up not in the costume, and we see a brief bit of her where we never see her face. We only see her from the back, or obstructed by things, where she was talking to Mr. Bossman after spotting that necklace, and she's like, I need X amount of yen, 200,000, whatever it was, 20,000? And he's like, I got a job, you're attractive, you can be like my booth babe, effectively, for the show. Oh, and since I've already hired you, why don't you go out and hand out samples in this costume too? And that kind of sparked that all happening. So, she didn't wake up in the costume, it kind of just worked out that way. I read that bit. Ah, I see. Tanaka, picking up on his discomfort, was visibly embarrassed himself. He hastened to change the subject. By the way, how did your talk with Mr. Makino go? I confirmed that he was behind the human testing, but I don't know who sent me those emails. Tanaka paused for a moment and thought, looking like he might have a hunch. Alright then, he said. We'll have to talk in more detail later. With that, the assistant director headed for the front door. And now he's going out looking... Oh, Mr. Osawa? Kajiwara spoke from the kitchen door. Peeping in on me again, huh? Osawa grumbled. Thankfully, it didn't appear that the detective had overheard his conversation with Tanaka. And good grief, that thing is noisy. Yeah, it's maddening, isn't it? If it's broken, why don't you just throw it all out? The sound from the bug tracker grew fainter and fainter. Something wasn't right, Osawa now realized. Yeah, that's not the broken one. Mr. Osawa, Kajiwara said, this is my bug tracker. Oh no. So? Osawa huffed. What I mean is, sir, this one isn't broken. I don't know what that musical cue was, but I'm loving it. Yep. Hey, Ask Animator, thank you so much for the resubscription. Almost 2 heckin' years. You've joined at a interesting musical moment of this game, but also, hot damn, how you doing tonight? Thank you so much for the resubscription. As always, hope you're still enjoying all Viperland goodness and good times. And how are you doing tonight? I hope your stomach's feeling better. A chill ran up Osawa's spine. What is this music, and why is it the best? He swallowed, audibly. I've pinpointed the source of the signal, Kajiwara said. It's coming from Mr. Tanaka. No, Osawa thought. I must have misheard that. Hold on. Say that again? I've located the source of the signal. It's coming from Mr. Tanaka, the detective repeated. This time, Osawa heard him crystal clear. I'm certain of it. Mr. Tanaka has the listening device on him. Osawa felt the blood draining from his face. If someone had been listening in on the conversation just now, then they'd heard about the email from Hitomi. Yep. If the kidnappers were the ones listening, that meant Maria's life was now in danger. I'll go after him, sir. Kajiwara broke into a sprint. Osawa followed close behind. I like that Kajiwara may be a massive troll, but like, when it comes down to it, he's like, no, I got this. Like, better got some ginger ale, Sonic Adventure 2 battle? Hell yeah. Sonic cures everything, obviously. Sonic cures everything. Except... I got nothing. Except going too fast. Kajiwara, yeah, he's good at his job, but it's also a massive troll. Another to be continued. That's not as big a cliffhanger as Aki, but that's a decent second, honestly. This is a good cliffhanger area, right? So we got to be continued, to be continued, to be continued. So we've got only... Oh, it's just Kano. Everybody else got to be continued. Well, that's just a bad end. Do you think the cell phone matters? Because apparently nothing's changed there. I'm gonna say the cell phone matters. I don't know. I don't know if that's the one, but we'll give it a shot. It's the only thing I can think of. Dialed up Detective Kajiwara. Oh, but that messes up the other one. You gotta do something to distract American and other character, because we kinda did not see him. That's true, I remember that. It was the 1340. But who has anything at 1340 that affects that? So we know it's not Tama. It's gotta be that one. But like, how does this choice affect the American? Right? Nothing was come to mind. We'll pick it. There's weirder options. Maybe he looks out the window and spots the American and... No, nothing really came to mind. It's about time to wrap this up. Thank you for your time, Mr. Bossman. If you'll excuse me, though, I have to get to another interview. Oh no, of course. Allow me to walk you out. Bossman rose to his feet as Minorikawa got up to leave. Oh, that won't be necessary. It's no trouble. I'm heading out now myself. Gotta run before those guys show up. What guys do you mean? Oh, nobody. Just a personal thing, is all. They parted ways outside the building, and Minorikawa headed off to the cafe to put his article together. It's not that it took long, but maybe that little bit of difference in time. Oh, perfect timing. No, it's this guy again. Minorikawa stopped. Yeah, we saw this bit. Yeah. Oh! He does have a scoop. I forgot about this. Bad ends are best ends. We also need to get bad ends for the platinum eventually. I don't know for sure if I'm going to platinum this, but it seems like it's just get all bad ends, so I might try it. Also, hello, Quasical? I hope I'm saying that right. Welcome to Viperland in the chat. I don't think this gave us a choice, though. I do remember him talking to us about the American guy, though. I don't think we had a choice in it. Or a guy in handcuffs arguing with somebody who looks like a detective. Yep. Yep, now we have more knowledge about that, but I don't think we have... I don't think we have a choice here. Detective undid the guy's handcuffs and let him run off. Yeah, okay. That's true, maybe he'll listen. Oh dear. Bribe or something. Yeah, this is the same as last time, I think. But this is possible. Yeah, he wants us to call. But we did that last time, too. At someone like me. World-class reporter, they'll take your word. You did the same thing last time. Maybe not calling it in would help? I don't know. Scary thugs around. Yeah, question his line of business. He's definitely shady. Okay. It doesn't seem to be the case. Now it's just picking up where it left off, right? Yeah. We continue down there. Oh! I don't understand it, but we're gonna roll with it. Oh, do you know what? Bet you Mr. Bossman bumps into him. Because that's the only other thing that changed. We got out earlier, and Mr. Bossman got out earlier, because we didn't take the extra minute or two, 5 minutes tops, to do the interview. That's gotta be it, right? That's the only thing I can think of. Is that he somehow bumped into him. At long last, the traffic began to move again. Almost as soon as it did, however, Stanley had to slam on the brakes. That's already worded differently. Yup. A frantic-looking man had jumped out in front of the car. Whoa, hey, what the hell are you doing? Kano sputtered. The stranger plastered his face against the passenger side window. Bossman was the secret to it all along. Open up, he shouted. Open the door. The guy showed every sign of total panic. Junichi Bossman. I don't know if we ever heard his first name. We must have. Something happened to him just after he parted ways with Minorikawa. Even though we already got his to be continued, we'll just do that. And now he's running this way, and in quite a panic at that. I get the feeling that depending on whose you do first, some of those ones that seem like dead ends might actually, like, why would I need a Minorikawa thing here? But maybe we might need it in a different setup. I don't know. Or they're just false things there to confuse you. Oh, sorry. And now he's running this way. According to panic attack. Okay, gotcha. Don't do it, Stanley warned. Kano hesitated. It wasn't like they could just drive off with this fellow clinging to the car. Him and Donkey Kong sell it. Oh wow. Like, come on. You're right, we needed some comedy. This is what we needed. Please, you gotta help me. The man slipped his fingers into the gap in the window, trying to force it further open. That's not a big gap, is it? Help me! Whoa, hold on. What's your deal? Help me! Sir, just tell me what— Help me! Look, up ahead, Stanley exclaimed suddenly. Oh my. Kano whipped his head around. There, walking along the sidewalk ahead, was Al Karawan, very much out in custody, and now we know that he was handcuffed, he was brought along, and he was let go. Makes sense to allow players not to give it. Yeah, exactly. It makes sense, you're right. Which I'm liking. What the hell? Kano tried to jump out of the car, but the frantic stranger had gotten his upper body wedged in the window, and the door wouldn't open. Stanley, his usual steely expression replaced with a look of shock, exited on the driver's side and went after Al Karawan himself. Kano shouted at the man in the window. Get out of the way, Stanley, wait. Alright, get in. We gotta let in Boss Man, right? Right? He helped us, technically, even though he doesn't know it. We gotta help him. Yeah, get in. If the guy was that desperate to get inside, Kano wasn't about to stop him. Besides, he needed to get the guy to calm down and let go of his arm. Ow! The man yelled. Let go, let go! Excuse me. He was the one holding on. Why was he demanding to be let go? What the hell's going on? Just as Kano's thought was forming, the crazed stranger was yanked back out of the car, dragging Kano with him. A pair of rough-looking men had grabbed him by his lower body. It's Tama and Bossman are the best. Tama, Bossman, and Donkey Kong are the three best for any type of like out-of-context image in this game. Hands down. Everyone else is getting a little more serious, which is good. It's a serious game, mostly. Oh man. No, no, he screamed. I can't do 80 days hard labor. Somehow he was still managing to cling to the car door. Miku, top tier. I wouldn't call her comedy, but I would absolutely call her best character in the game. She definitely borders on a comedy, for sure, though. Just pummeling Minorikawa like that. Just give it up and let go already, snarled one of the assailants. The pair shifted their grip and pulled even harder. That was not the sound of tearing fabric. Kano heard the sound of tearing fabric as the two toughs tumbled backwards. Look at the face of the guy on the left. The guy's face on the left. Perfect. Just like that, the crazed stranger was stripped down to his boxers. He let out a pathetic wail. Oh man! The two toughs burst into uproarious laughter at the sight. Now's our chance, one of them managed to sputter. The pantsless man snatched up his ruined garment and bolted like a startled hare. Oh, meant to check that. To dart off incredibly quickly, in the manner of a fleeing rabbit. Bossman runs a lot more like a rat than a rabbit, though. Still cackling madly, his two pursuers rushed after him. Kano was still staring dumbstruck at the spectacle when Stanley returned to the car. No luck. I lost track of him. Really? Which means that we are better at catching up to somebody than he is. Because we got him last time. That's why we had to change it up. We got him. Or he let him go. This doesn't make— oh, then why would he run out of the car, I guess? This doesn't make sense, Kano said, forcing himself to refocus on the case. Al Karawan was taken back to the precinct. What's he doing walking free? Stanley gave him a dubious look. Have you seriously not figured it out? He asked. Or is this some kind of strange Japanese joke I'm not getting? What are you talking about? Kano replied. Do you know something I don't? Evidently I do. You're Detective Teteno, let him go on purpose. That's the only explanation. Ooh. Enraged at the suggestion, Kano took a swing at him, but Stanley coolly caught his fist. Oh man, even the reflection, like, they didn't have to make his tie swing in the reflection and his sunglasses, but like, They did. That's good. That's good. You could see the movement of it all. It's not me you should be punching, the American warned. It's Tateno. To be continued? Almost. Kano forgot the dick. Yep. He did. He should have just been focused on the dick. He should have been thinking non-stop about the dick. Abolished. Or bashed, wow. Kano radioed up Kuze on the wireless. Sir, did Detective Tateno bring Tark Al-Karwan to the precinct? It would appear that, Detective Tateno has gone rogue? Kuze replied with chagrin. What? Surely Kano had misheard. We received an eyewitness account. Someone saw him allowing the suspect to go free? No. No. It can't be. We currently do not know Detective Tateno's whereabouts. Or just what the hell's going on with him? After Kano ended the call, Stanley let out a low chuckle. I see. Looks like you had a traitor in your midst. Kano grabbed him by the collar. Stanley snorted. What are you trying to pull here? It's true, he can't be Cane Man because they fought. True. True. I already had my doubts only because we saw his face in the flashback, even though I forgot it. But that does kind of clear that up too, yeah. Tell me what you know, Kano snapped. All I did is state the facts. Look, I watched that man risk his life to talk down a would-be arsonist. He's a dyed-in-the-wool detective. He'd never betray anybody. Yeah, Cane Man limped, true. I see, Stanley murmured. And he's the real deal. Kano stared in surprise. He'd expected an argument. Good, he said. I'm glad we're on the same page. Tateno risked his life in order to get people to trust him. He's a dyed-in-the-wool spy, is what he is. Kano didn't have the words. His clenched fist trembling once more, he fumbled for his cell phone again. I was seeing Tateno yet in present. That's true. Hey, Khaleesi, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome to Viperland in the chat. How are you doing tonight? How did the 14ing go? This game is getting more intense as we go along, though you wouldn't notice by this still photo of an old cell phone. You dialed Tateno's number. The phone rang 5 times, but failed to connect. No, also I can... There has to be a reason for this, Kano muttered. Tateno must know something we don't. Tonight we've gotten to see a full cat mascot outfit with blood coming from its mouth and a bloody hand pull a gun on us. It's a game, yo. Otherwise, doing pretty good. Making progress, having a good time. We've hit a few bad ends. We got shot more than once. Really now? Stanley scoffed. And what makes you so sure of that? Because Detective Tateno was sure this kidnapping wasn't about the ransom. Evil Tama was very spooky, yeah. Like for sure. Kano's mind drifted back to 9 o'clock that morning. More flashbacks. Ahead of their stakeout at the Scramble, he was walking with Tateno through the halls of the Shibuya precinct. We're going to do a bang-up job out there, Detective Tateno, he chirped. He was maybe a bit too excited about getting to take part in such a major case. Tateno patted Kano on the back. You need to take a step back. You're not letting yourself see the forest for the trees. What do you mean, sir? What I mean is that this is no ordinary kidnapping. Maybe they are hiding his face, though. Tateno's words triggered a little revelation. You're talking about the location for the ransom handoff, aren't you? Kano said. It doesn't make sense for the criminal to pick such a major intersection. Warmer, Tateno replied. Kano frowned inwardly. He'd been so sure that was the answer. Have you thought about why they asked to have the sister make the handoff? Kano thought some more before answering. Because women are easier to deal with, he suggested. Colder. If that was the case, why not pick the mother? No, what worries me is the fact that the Osawa girls are twins. They're having us send someone to do the handoff who looks identical to the girl they kidnapped. Gassing his head, shot was from behind. Yeah, that might be the case too, yeah. What's going to happen when we do that? What is going to happen, sir? Kano asked. I'm not sure yet, but I have a feeling the kidnapper's plan hinges on it. Yeah, they don't seem to be showing them though. The two exited through the precinct's main entrance. Up ahead, rows of buildings stood tall against a backdrop of bright blue sky. Tateno let out a quiet sigh. To think that so many terrible things are happening out there on such a beautiful day. Solve one case and another's waiting, he went on, as always. What is it about people that drives them to do such horrible things? A girl, abducted out of pure greed. When I think of how her parents must feel, I almost can't bear it. Her parents don't seem to care. Her father's way more worried about his work and how to work a microwave, and their mother-in-law, or their stepmom, is seemingly uncaring entirely. Worried more about the money? Like, he was pretty worried at first. I feel like they just haven't shown as much of it, but that's probably because it would get old after a while of like, I'm so worried, I'm so worried, I'm so worried, he's got to push the story forward. That's true, that's true. They made their way towards the scramble. Teteno continued, talking in a quiet voice. My father was a raging alcoholic. The house was always a complete mess. He was loud, violent, never had any money, always reeked of booze. My mother, she would cry and cry. I was afraid to come home. Every day I stayed out playing as late as I could possibly manage. Kano could hear the pain in Teteno's voice. That life took too much of a toll on my mother. She died when I was still in grade school. You are opening up a lot to a coworker that admittedly idolizes you, but like, damn, my father, he just got worse. I was there with him at the end, after he'd wasted away to almost nothing. Not the sort of childhood I'd ever wish on anybody. Sounds like he really went through a lot. Kano hated himself for uttering such an empty platitude, but he had no idea what else to say. Kano, as old as I am, I still don't really know what it is to be happy. I think that's probably because I've never known what it's like to have a happy family. Teteno sounded so forlorn. The only happiness I know how to protect is other people's happiness. Maybe, I guess, that could be the case. Kano heard in those words the soul of a true detective. I just hope you're ready. Kano did his best to keep his voice as calm and level as he could, lifting up his clenched fist. Because if I find proof that Teteno is innocent, I'm planting this right into your jaw. Stanley just cracked a wry smile. The traffic had finally diminished, and they rapidly drew closer to their destination. The syndicate's hangout was in Tomiyaga, to the southwest of Yoyogi Park. The Black Pub Lodge. The ratty building looked like it might have come crashing down at any minute. The Black Lodge sign up front looked deliberately ominous. I know it's a buddy cop movie. I mean, it could be going that way. No. We need Kano Sasayama buddy cop movie. Get Stanley out of there. Kano knew the place as a bar frequented by expats from various countries, as well as a hotbed of criminal activity. I'll take point, Stanley said. You back me up. He pulled a handgun from his suit pocket. It was a compact Glock, a model frequently used by the FBI or CIA. Glock 17, semi-automatic pistol developed in Austria for police and military use. Notable for its incorporation of large amounts of polymer, plastic, in its design, a certain Hollywood film included a line of dialogue claiming that the Glock would not show up on airport x-ray machines, but since the gun barrel itself is made of metal, this is assuredly not true. What's up, Topaz? Federal Bureau of Investigation, an American investigation bureau established by the U.S. Department of Justice in 1908, as authority in matters involving crimes that cross state lines, as well as threats to public order such as espionage and terrorism. Generally speaking, the FBI conducts its activities within the United States. Yeah, Glock is a type of gun. CIA, a Central Intelligence Agency, one of the principal agencies of the U.S. Intelligence Community, reporting to the Director of National Intelligence. Possessing considerable budgetary resources and a vast network of highly trained personnel, the CIA carries out intelligence gathering and covert operations, primarily overseas. In recent years, the organization has been devoting major efforts to counter terrorism. I can't imagine why in 2005 they would have been putting a lot of resources into that. 2008, sorry. Kano drew his own gun, and the two cautiously made their way inside. At the end of the hallway was a wooden door. Stanley signaled with his eyes. Kano gave a tiny nod and stripped off his clothes. He may have misread the signal. and Stanley kicked the door in. The stench of blood hit them as soon as they stepped inside. Kana let out a startled gasp. There were nearly a dozen bodies sprawled out across the floor. He recognized them all. There were men who'd participated in the repeated attaché case handoffs. Each appeared to have been stabbed to death. Damn. Stanley took a closer look. The blood's not fully dried. These guys weren't killed that long ago. Kana quickly scanned the bar high and low, but there was no sign of a killer in hiding. There was no trace of Maria either. It's all the attaché guys. One of the fallen men let out a faint, strained groan. "Hey!" Kana called out. "Stay with us!" He hunched down beside the wounded man. Urk. A brief gurgle rose from the man's throat. Probably, well, yeah, you could sneak up on one of them. But after that, the rest are going to be like, "Oh no, a knife!" He was clearly struggling to say something, but his voice was too garbled, too indistinct for Kano to make out any coherent words. Uh-oh. Kanan. Uh-oh. Well, we know who probably did it now. How does Hitomi know her? And why is she so much of a badass? What was that? There was no more. The dying man went limp and still. Do we have somebody more badass than Miku in this game now? Because, like, it didn't need it, but I'll be happy if it's true. Yeah, what has Hitomi? Like, she's clearly... They made note that she was somebody who was foreign, and now we know she's... We had a hint that she was pretty badass, because she dropped from the ceiling and took that dude down, but, like, if she did that... She's a straight-up assassin. She's not like... You're not like, "Oh, I'm a Street Fighter or something." No, you're an assassin. Oh yeah, new preview. We've got a really bad preparation about this. What? I never take anything at face value. Just who are you calling Flim Flam? Do you know me? You've hoarded so many things in here. Well, we've hit a new hour block. And we've got about a half hour left, so we can, deadly preposition. We know who we gotta start with, though, right? Like, there's only one answer. There can only be one. And she's got the necklace. Oh my god. We only see that once, don't we? Ah. Yeah. It's weird that they want Hitomi. Yeah, there's a lot of weirdness. But also, moving on then. It's no longer Tama. We know who she is. She still doesn't. She has no idea. We know, though. The sales clerk continues to stare at me. "You know, you look really familiar," he says. "Oh? Really?" I perk up at that. Maybe I can find out something about who I am. "Yeah, you totally look like some pop singer or TV personality. I just can't remember who." "Oh, that's what you meant." My shoulders slump in disappointment. "Excuse me." "Look, if you're trying to flatter me, how about a discount on the necklace?" "Sure, okay. I mean, it's just something I picked up off the side of the... ho! The sales clerk stammers for a moment. "Okay, how would I take off 10,000? 30,000 and it's yours." "You mean it?" That perks me right back up. Interesting, he told me. Yeah, he didn't mention it, but that might be what he's thinking. "Guess I'm easy to please. Get your mind out of the gutter. That's not what she means, and you know it." Game. "Sure, you look like you might need to buy some new clothes, too." Huh, yeah, that's gotta be 100% sweat. But that sweater is more sweat than Oh, it's ripped. Oh, I guess that's what you're talking about. The tiny tear in the left shoulder. "So, what do you want to do about the cat?" the sales clerk asks. "Want me to dispose of it for you?" He gestures at my costume with his jaw. "Oh, right. What should I do?" I feel a little guilty about asking him to go out of his way for me more than he already has. No, obviously wants to help me. May as well have him get rid of the costume too. He's just gonna sell it. Exactly, yeah, he might just be like, you look familiar, yeah. He obviously wants to help me. May as well have him get rid of the costume, too. Sure, if you don't mind, I say. You can give me an even bigger discount on the necklace, then. It's all the money we have. It's literally all the money we have. Okay, we've got 10,000 left, but I pay him the 30,000 yen, take the necklace, and leave the knick-knack shop. Oh hey, Sega. A few minutes later, near the station, I spot a sort of mall. Checking the directory by the entrance, I see that it's got several clothing shops and an arcade inside. This is a Sega published game, by the way, so like, of course they're gonna show Sega. Is it actually? No. What am I thinking? This is not Sega. I keep thinking Yakuza. My bad. Yeah, no it isn't. You're right. I've had to restart Yakuza a few times, so I got stuck on a boss fight 2 days ago. So I just keep seeing the Sega logo, and I don't know why I thought it was this one. This is still Spike Chunsoft, so I don't know what the hell I'm thinking. Disregard that, clearly. They probably sell shirts in here. I hurry on inside. It's a slight snag in your sweater. Is it really, like... You only have 10,000 left, too. You should think about food. She still hasn't eaten today. We know for a fact she hasn't eaten yet. The interior of the building is like a twisting maze of corridors, all of them overflowing with people. I take the escalator to the second floor and find myself amidst rows of arcade games. I was trying to get to the fashion area, but I must have gone the wrong way. Oh. Saga's secret boss from Arch Mercuria. Interesting. I'm just gonna finish the cabaret and move on for now, but I'm gonna keep the save file around. Like, I still might go back and do more stuff, but like, I kind of want to move on to the next game, but I want to finish the cabaret first. That's important. Excuse me. You haven't seen a lost little girl. Did you lose your child? Oh, this guy's the worst. If Miku, Bossman, and Donkey Kong are the best characters in this game, he's unquestionably the worst. Unquestionably. I turned to see a miserable-looking, middle-aged man peering at me anxiously. Toyama. He got separated from his daughter, Hana, while running from debt collectors. He's on edge, worried that the men who are after him might take Hana hostage. Yeah, they might. Aya in the background? Is she? Oh, the song? Yeah. Peering at me anxiously. Have you seen her? A little girl, about 10 years old. A girl around 10? Have I seen her? What's her name? Hana. Hana Toyama. Hana. Oh, that's a pretty name. So, she's about yay tall? The man launches into a rapid-fire explanation describing the girl's features, hair, and clothes. I got separated from her around Center Guy. She likes this place, so I thought maybe she'd come here. Center Guy? That's right, now I remember. This is the guy I bumped into earlier in the afternoon while I was racing around in the cat costume. Got separated from his daughter? Yikes. If she did come here, it's not going to be easy to find her in the midst of all these crowds. Are you sure she didn't go back home? I ask. Well, there's this problem, he mutters. Going home isn't an option. He's bad dad, yeah. Well, that's not really an explanation. Sorry to bother you. I'll look around a bit more. There he goes. With that, Hannah's father disappears into the crowd. I leave the arcade and head for the fashion area. I bump into Mr. Bossman in the hallway, lined with photo booths. Huh? A boss? What's he doing in a place like this? Oh, Tama, you're out of the suit. For some reason, he's got a bunch of magazines strewn across the floor. Yeah, finally managed to get it out. Oh, he's looking for the scratch-off cards. That's good. I wish you could have been at the sales demo without your face hidden away. What are you doing? You mentioned something about... Because they told him about the scratch cards. You mentioned something about a creek earlier. Are you going on a trip? Yeah, I was, but then I remembered something important. I get motion sickness, something fierce. He sounded kind of proud of himself. So yeah, no trips for me. Heck, I don't even want to think about that now. What about the money you owe? I ask, curious. Well, as it happens, I think I may have found my solution. He brings a hand to his mouth and giggles. Yup. Wow. That's a hell of a neckbeard. The letters say GET, but it definitely reads Milady, right? Like it 100%. Right here. I say knowing full well that I'm growing quite a beard now too, but you know. Right here. I found a great way to make a killing.
Notice me.
Yes, it's that guy actually, you're right. To earn a lot of money, usually in a very short time, and or with little effort. The phrase originated in the 19th century, in reference to hunters who were paid based on the number of kills they made. I'm so glad, like, I revisited that guy's clip, because, like, it's perfect. It's perfect. He opens the magazine he's holding to reveal a scratch card with a potential 100,000 yen prize. He's just got to scratch off one of these to win 100,000 yen. All I need is 30 of them, and my debt's squared away. He doesn't know that there's a trick to it, he's just gambling. Each magazine I can nab is more money for me. Despite his enthusiasm, his story doesn't quite add up. Are those scratch cards guaranteed to win? No, of course not. It's a lottery sort of thing. He doesn't even know. Well, then having 30 copies of the magazine is hardly a foolproof solution. Look straight at the camera. Quite the opposite, in fact, but I hold my tongue. Okay then, now that my goddess of fortune Tama is here, let me hurry and scratch these suckers off. I like to stare straight at the camera. Boss Man begins fervently scratching away at the first card of the coin. Aw, that one's a loser. Maybe the next one. That's a loser too. Damn it, so is this one, and this one. In a spectacular display, he scratches one losing card after another. Soon, he's down to just one last magazine. Maybe the people took all the winning cards because they could see through the back anyway? So all the winners are probably claimed already, and only losers remain. You're not a very lucky person, are you? Oh, please don't say that. Mr. Bossman looks like he's on the verge of tears. Again. I stare at one of the losing scratch cards. You know, if you could just see the symbols through the card, you'd win for sure, I say jokingly. I hold the card up to the light. I do, I really can see the symbols through the card. Boss, I think I might— he already scratched it. Shh. He interrupts me before I can share my shocking discovery. I look at him in surprise. Mr. Bossman has gone all pale. Quiet, Tama. Those guys are here. Oh, he shoves me into a photo booth. Those guys. The debt collectors. Oh man, I can't share any pictures of her now because it's spoilers. Not that I think anybody cares about spoilers for this game, but like, I would care. I would care. The debt collectors, he hisses. They just do not give up. He clutches the side of his head. Peeking out of the booth, I spot a pair of men who look pretty rough around the edges. Yeah, he's not bright, but he is absolutely pure. He's not smart. Well, he's pure in intentions. He didn't go to that bar to do anything but use the service it provided. So, like, if he went there to try and, like, sneak up after him after the club and, like, harass him, that's different. But he went there, paid for the service they provided. Is it those two? Shh, not so loud. The men are looking around, and they're getting closer and closer. What do I do? Oh, what do I do? If we can't see her face, I'll count it. Mr. Bossman starts getting panicky. Tama, what do I do? I have no idea. Oh, this is not good. This is not good, Mr. Bossman whimpers. Getting involved strikes me as a bad idea. Pretend to not know it. We can't do that to him. We can't do that to him. This guy gave me a job, so I kind of owe him. Well, we don't really owe him either, but he's not a bad guy. We gotta go with B. This guy gave me a job, so I kind of owe him. I'll look around for a better place for the two of us to hide. Unfortunately, I don't really see anywhere that might work. We might be safer staying right where we are. Just stay nice and still, and we'll be fine, I whisper. Yeah, Yeah, you're probably right. That's true. It might be right, but given a choice, I don't want to abandon him unless it gets us to a point where we have to go back and do it. The curtain is drawn, so people can't see inside, but just to keep up appearances, we should start taking photos, as if we're normal customers. I really hope they don't look in here, Mr. Bossman murmurs. What'll we do if they find us? They won't, just don't worry. Despite my reassurances, it was a while before he stopped trembling. Why did he take off his shoes? And he said, You know, Tama, they say that when a man and a woman meet under unusual circumstances, it's easy for them to fall in love. Uh-huh. Do they now? They do. Going through an extreme situation together makes you fall for each other. So want to get married? Cuts to the chase. Give him that. No way. Yeah, I am not having this conversation. Anyway, I think they're gone now. The debt collectors, I mean. Now, do you want to go for coffee sometimes? Married. Mr. Bossman peeks out and quickly scans the surrounding area. They're gone? They're gone! So long, losers! His fear has given way to a burst of manic energy. Guess I'm in the clear now. Thanks, Tama. Come on, let's go take some commemorative photos. Huh? To commemorate what exactly? Come on, it'll be fun. Okay, big smile now. Ready? Cheese! Did that say broke friends forever and then afro life? It said BFFs, broke friends forever, I think. It flashed for only a second, but I think that's what it said. Those are art and I can't upload those. After that, I part ways with Mr. Bossman and head to a different floor. Especially because it shows her face and says Tama above it, like, there's no subtlety there. I don't tell him about being able to see through the scratch cards. The guy really ought to develop a proper work ethic. But, like, those are art. Wholeheartedly agree. Those are art. Yeah. Hey, come on, wait up. I'm on the escalator to the 3rd floor when I hear someone shouting. I figure it's someone yelling to their kid, but when I turn to look, I see a young man I don't recognize staring right at me. Where are you going? It's not safe for us to get too Oh my god. It's Aki. What? Who's this weirdo? Is this some new pickup trick or something? I rushed up the escalator to get away from the guy. Like, they must have... So now we have to assume with Aki's thing, they get away from... Oh, I don't know. It's gotta be Aki though, right? They must head to the mall for some reason and go, okay, somebody ruined our clothes or something like that. Yeah, very distinct Sonic in the back. Like, she's very clearly wearing a different outfit, but Aki's also... He's not the smartest, but he's not blind. I don't know. That's a good question, Ramen. When I get to the restaurant section of the 4th floor, I'm hit with a sudden pang of hunger. Yeah, you've eaten nothing all day. So, come to think of it, I haven't eaten a thing all day. So hungry, I mutter to myself as I walk around. What should I eat? And I spot Cherry coming out of a Chinese restaurant. Hey, Cherry! She turns to look at me, confused. Who are you? Oh, it's me. It's Tama. Ah, I thought I recognized that voice, she replies with a nod. Did you eat again? I ask. Oh yeah, but then they kicked me out. Isn't that just terrible? She looks pretty displeased. Was it an all-you-can-eat place? I came here... Yep. I came here because they said it was all you can eat, but then they closed shop because they ran out of food. Anyone else I'd disagree or disbelieve? Nah, it checks out. That's good. Oh wow, you're right. I spot one of the restaurant staff hanging a close sign on the front door. Like, even though it's just still photos, the amount of fun they had filming this, taking pictures of it, whatever, is just palpable. Like, yeah, They easily could have just hung the sign on the door and had her look like dejected, and it would still be entertaining enough. Like, the joke was already made of like, haha, she eats so much, she put it out of business. Like, that's already the joke. They didn't have to do this. They're like, no. What if we do a loud sound cue and cut to her full on, like, creepy the Grudge look hanging the sign? It's like, yeah, do that. And it's a great idea, but, like, they didn't have to go this hard. And it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, she should be scared. Put her out of business for the day. An afternoon snack. Oh man, now my early afternoon snack is ruined. Like, I get that she's just got one joke with her, but it's a good joke. An afternoon snack? And an all-you-can-eat buffet? I can't help but stare at Cherry's midsection, amazed by what that stomach is capable of. By the way, have you seen the boss? She asked. I thought he'd finally accepted that he needs to buckle down and work, but he's got some new crazy scheme. Guess the guy's just never gonna learn. I figure nothing good's gonna come from associating with him. I'd be careful if I were you, too. Huh? Done with her little rant, Cherry says goodbye and heads off among the restaurants. To more food. Hitomi? Who said that? Were they talking to me? Oh! Is that Tanaka? I can't quite see the face. Yeah. Oh man. Oh man. I turned to see a businessman of some sort staring in my direction. Like everyone I've run into today, I don't recognize him. Awkward as hell. For some reason though, I feel relaxed in his presence. Is that you, Hitomi? Hitomi? Could that be my name? Or are you Maria? No, As I fumble for words, the man peers at me with obvious concern. What are you doing in a place like this? We need to get you back home. Your parents are worried sick. My parents? Did someone file a missing persons report while I've been wandering around with amnesia? The man leads the way, and I follow. Oh, true. If he's on a bad guy side, now would be the time where bad stuff happens. Already cut to an alley, don't like it. Leave the Geigo building and head down a narrow alleyway. Then, the man suddenly... Oh, speaking of colors, yeah, I feel a jolt of anxiety as I notice something gleaming in his hand.
Oh no!
Doesn't matter which of the two you are. Ah, crap, you're both in the... Oh, no. You're both in the way, he mutters, almost as if talking to himself. Yup. I thought the biggest concern for him was like, oh, maybe he's dating Hitomi. That would be weird, wouldn't it? No, he's... Oh no, right after that, everything goes dark. Tom, I can't catch a break. Like, there's plenty of people who can't catch a break, but like, bad end, oh, damn. A mysterious man. After meeting a man who seemed to know her on the restaurant level, our heroine hoped to find out more about her past. Instead, she wound up getting attacked in an alleyway. Ultimately, this all came to pass because she was avoiding that young man who mistook her for Hitomi. If he hadn't come shouting after her, she would not have gone to buy some clothes as she'd originally intended. That's a bad end, yep. That's also where we're going to end it for tonight. Again, it's a few minutes early, but I feel like for this game, this is a logical ending point. If we start another chapter, it's going to go a bit longer, and as much as I want to play more of it, like, this is a very logical place to end it. And next time we can pick up on somebody else's chapter, get some more info, maybe not get murdered with a hammer. Maybe. I'd call this a successful night, though. We made a bunch of progress. We finished another chapter block. We found out who Tama is. We gotta do Aki next, because, like, clearly he survives where he is. But, like, why is he in a mall now? Why is there some foreign assassin helping him? How does Hitomi know her? I have questions. So hopefully next time we get some answers. I feel like we're getting a steady trickle of information. Like, I feel like the gameplay is fun too. Just getting the whole pieces of the puzzle and everything is great. We are getting a steady trickle of info. I feel like the game is paced really well. I'd argue the first maybe hour is a little slow, but like, visual novels do that. You gotta start a little slow so you can build up to stuff. I feel like every visual novel I've played has started a bit slow. And I've loved all the ones I've played, and they've all started a little slow. Mind you, most of them are Spike Chunsoft games. Other than Steins Gate, no, Phoenix Wright doesn't start slow. You know what? I'll give it that. Phoenix Wright does not start slow. There's a murder, you're in a case. That's one thing. Phoenix Wright does a lot of things well, mind you. That's something I never thought about before. Phoenix Wright does that, and compared to every other visual novel I've played, it starts with a definite bang. Steins Gate is slow as hell to start. This was fairly slow. It's like an hour of just leading up to tackling a guy with or stalking a guy with a briefcase. All the Danganronpa games start slow because you got to introduce all those characters and everything. Like, I understand why they're slow. I understand why they do it. But I feel like this, like all the other ones I've enjoyed, really coming together, having a good time. So, let's see who might be going tonight, so we can toss it right over to them. Also, I now just put my headphone extender into my... Oops, I didn't mute it. Sorry. There's an echo. But I can just swap my headphones easy so I can hear what's going on. My bad. Sorry about the echo. Who's going? Dang it. Nightside's going, but they're playing Ghost of Tsushima, and I don't want to raid that. So, we're going to let auto-host grab it tonight, because I don't want to host them while they're playing that. Because I do want to play it at some point. I'm not getting it yet, because I have a backlog, I have other things I want to do, but I do want to play that game, so I don't want to... Excuse me. Get spoilers for it now. Auto-host will grab it. Yeah, hopefully everybody's having a good time. I'm still loving the hell out of this game. I think tomorrow we're doing Code Vein. Friday, I don't know what Friday is. What are the other games that we've been working on lately that I haven't been really playing? I might do Super Robot Wars just to have it in the mix. I don't know. Saturday we're doing Smash for sure. I'm gonna try to aim for Sunday to be... Which means I should have said it earlier when Khaleesi was around. I think Sunday I'm going to do Void Arc. I'm going to try for it. Sunday seems a busier day, a weekend day. Maybe there'll be more people doing it. Khaleesi wants in on it, and I'm totally down for that. We are in the same data center. I'll post it on the Discord so people know for sure, like that's the day we're going to aim for. I usually give more notice, but whatever. And maybe Monday more of this. So it might take till Monday for more of this, but... Oh, maybe Monday will be more Moss Hunter. I don't know. Well, some of the days are a little in flux. Friday I'm not really sure about. Tomorrow is sure, Saturday sure, Sunday sure. That's all I got for now. Get ourselves a monster, a quote, a Discord, and I feel like that's just the theme of the game in general. Controlled chaos. Chaos unraveling. Coming together to make sense. I don't know. Not actually the theme, it's just a sound effect I wanted to use. So yeah, thank you all for tuning in, thank you all for watching. This has been Vipers for Viperland, and I'll see you all next time.
I am not sure if you noticed, but I am a robot.